I'll go for noble.
Okay, so that brings us to session number 74 with 298 sessions done on the Tuesday night group, which Jeremy's been there for most of.
Oh, that means we're so close to 300.
Yeah. I'm sure Jeremy would say it hasn't been that long.
Well, I could miss a few along the way.
Not that many, to be honest. You managed to join in while interstate, which was pretty good. Okay, so we'll do introductions. So we have Jeremy with his soon-to-be-named character.
That hasn't been named for how many sessions?
Quite a while.
Okay, but it might be a few sessions, but it hasn't actually been that long a period of time.
True.
I was gonna say, probably in
in
period of
Denver.
time, it's probably been like, what, 5 days?
Yeah, about that.
Possibly a
Probably
week.
close to a week to a fortnight.
Yeah.
Exactly,
Not a
yeah.
long time. We're still getting used to not using his old name.
Well, nobody knows his name.
What do you mean getting used to it? He never had a name.
Yeah. All the knowledge of his name was taken as well. Which means we don't know what his name was.
Yeah, we know the name of the dragon that he was talking
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yes,
which
good
weirdly
evening all. I am
is-
playing the Atruaghin tribesman,
Is it Paul?
who, as just discussed, had a name until recently, until a certain encounter with the dragon, where he apparently traded it away, but hey, got the party out of a fix when he did it, or at least got himself out of a fix when he did it, so...
Well, I believe he stated he gave the dragon his name.
Yes.
That
He
is
did.
precisely what happened.
The,
Can I have your name? Yes. Bang. Done.
Yeah, sorry, we've interrupted Jeremy's.
okay. But yes, so currently he's the Atruaghin tribesman who is attempting now to
Read both.
somewhat atone for some earlier failures as a watchman, as a lawman, and elder of the tribe looking after the younglings, to being given the task of trying to look after all the tribes by the Atruaghin himself. So, trying to live up to the name, even if he doesn't have one.
No pressure.
No pressure whatsoever. Though I did say that during the night's rest he was going to talk to Atruaghin, so we might have to come up with something soon. So while everyone else is introducing their character, he might have a little think. So Ariadna.
I'm playing the Gnomish Tinkerton Artificer Artillerist. Artillerist.
Artist with booms.
Boomeretta.
And my favourite shtick, for lack of a better word, is bombs. Bombs of every kind and nature. Sparkly bombs, stinky bombs, powder bombs. Chocolate bombs, but bombs.
What does your character think Jeremy should be naming his character?
Well, I think I've only really known him as the tribesman for most of the time I've been around.
That's
so
true.
The tribesman.
So you think you should just stick with the tribesman?
Yeah, I think that
Well, no,
it's almost title-like, and it has.
translate it in
You know.
Gnomish. Make it sound right.
Yeah, well, yeah. I don't know how to. I can speak Gnomish, but I don't know how to speak
Yeah.
But
Gnomish.
we want to be able to
He
say a
doesn't speak
name that doesn't take 2 weeks to say.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Well,
Isn't that more ent?
No, that would be why I don't name it.
Yeah.
It depends on if he wants to go for the scientific name. So next up we have Kesley.
Alright, I am playing Lonnie. She is the Makai human fighter. Once a sailor, now with her new crew. Mostly just kinda trying to keep everybody alive and just like here for a good time and enjoying going on adventures with these guys, and is willing to do everything she can to protect them. As for what she thinks the tribesman needs to name himself, I would say, that guy.
I was going to suggest something like your undying title, but reliable, unrelenting or something like that. But I haven't been able to configure.
That's why I was gonna look up something. I was like, I'll come up with something in a bit. Just give me a second.
We all seem to need some time to think.
Okay. spontaneously name creation is a very difficult thing to do.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's why I keep lists.
So, next up we have Paul.
Who is the dark-haired, pretty boy, diplomat, healer, warlock, medic, as well as healer?
Hmm?
Aren't you also the savior of the Tree of Life?
And at the moment we're about to be the saviours of the Tree of Life, with me being the champion of the Shadow Elves and the one who was directly given the quest to do this.
Mm.
But no pressure.
No pressure at all. That's okay. Jeremy has some insight into what happens in the future of the storyline.
Right. But he's not allowed to tell us because that's
No.
in the future of the storyline.
Yeah.
And you don't want to know anyway.
No.
Too much information.
So Jeremy and I had a bit of fun talking about how much his character actually understood in what was happening.
Right.
Because his Wednesday night character doesn't really care that much.
Okay.
Is it possible that his Wednesday night character and his Tuesday night character know each other?
They do, yes.
Oh, okay.
Just that they can't communicate through time yet.
No. There's always Drazzle.
If Lonnie was to name you from her island, she would name you Kanaka Awana. If you want to go with that, it means wanderer.
Where do you get that one from?
Google.
Oh, okay.
That one's Hawaiian.
Okay, yeah.
That's how I came up with my name. I'm just like, what's a cool Hawaiian name?
Using a cultural name is not too bad.
Yes.
Could do a culture name. If you wanted to go, with a Native American name, honestly, you go with John. I worked with so many Native Americans. It's always like, John. Yeah, John.
And I worked with so many Asians who just went with Lee.
Yeah.
It wasn't anything related to the name whatsoever, but people would remember it.
Yeah.
Every
Meow.
Korean.
That's what Ariel thinks
Meow.
your name should be.
Meow. Meow.
Yeah, he just wants to tell everyone off.
Meow. Yeah, because he's not getting attention.
Quite rude.
No, he wants my lap, but he can't settle into it properly.
No, because you keep moving.
He's both too scared to jump in it, but also
Well,
wants to jump in it a lot.
He jumped in it, then jumped right out of it, then jumped in it.
Very funny.
Yes.
Like, I can see everyone, it's too high.
My suspicion is that he wants to be in my lap because he's always sucking up to me because I'm the provider of the chicken, even if I don't directly give it to him.
Well, he knows where his chicken's butted.
Oh, yeah. Yep. He's always trying to win extra chicken points.
Okay, so in the storyline, did someone want to do a recap for last session? Whoever took notes?
I gotcha. So,
Just confirming, you're recording this time?
I am checking the both audio
Yeah.
is recording.
okay, cool.
Because I might need to borrow your notes to...
So,
fill in my notes.
last session, we woke up where we got the Justice Key from before. We went towards where we thought the last key would be. It was the lizard key. We saw a fountain with little lizard heads, and we walked up to it. And then all of a sudden, this hill was actually a dire T-Rex. And so we fought it. Probably nearly died, but that was cool. It tried to use the tribesman as a toothpick.
Some of it's fault from the inside.
We ended up defeating it, so we got the lizard key out of its forehead. And then we had a short rest to fully heal. We made our way back to the city, and we moved on down. On our way back to the city, we saw an ancient tree end. And we tried talking to it, but it didn't hear us. We went back to the city, then after the city, we went down to the Griffin Fields. They gave us a ride to the castle, but not before Drazzle had to say goodbye to us. He said he could not go into the castle because he would not leave the castle. So he ended up leaving us there.
Did we actually go in, or did we
not
stop just as we were trying to decide
This is the
that?
next part.
Yeah.
The exciting time to get people to do a bit of scouting first.
Yeah, yeah.
We set up a camp just outside of the castle. We were watching it. There's a bridge on either side of the castle, where the castle's like on a island in the middle of a river. Pristine white tower, blah blah blah. There's movement on the upper tower. It follows up with glints of metal armor, but there's no animals or movement around. So the metal armor moves around between the towers, but there are no stairs. Ooh, there's a hint. And there's no fires or light, is what I wrote down. I don't remember what that means, but that is my notes.
So no one actually inside the
Just to clarify, we hadn't quite left Drizzle behind at that point.
You had left Drizzle
We
at
had
the
left
Griffin
him
Field.
Because I thought he was going to take notes with us until we went in.
He left you at the Griffin's Field.
Okay,
He
alright.
didn't want to get any closer to the tower.
Okay, alright, yeah.
If he thought if he got any closer, then chances are he'd have to stay.
Yeah.
So I am arranging for one person to be scribed for the session to post up on the YouTube video. So who wants to do that for tonight?
I can do that again.
Okay, so Cassie will do that one.
I don't mind being like the
And
default person unless somebody else wants to.
Who wants to track what items you gain?
I could probably do the items. I couldn't do the scribing right now. Not until I fix my hands, which I don't
And then
know.
do the same thing
No,
that
we'll
I
think
did
about
for-
everything else.
And just some comments.
I'm
Just
hard on
comment.
doing that
That
too.
way, the video gets comments, the video gets looked at.
I had 3 hours sleep since like.
So since I started doing this, I've tripled the amount of comments in 1 week.
Go.
I had 5 comments up until that point for 330 videos.
There you go. That's one way to do it. Get that engagement up.
I can't figure out how to do it
Yeah.
from the TV. I don't think you can.
Oh, you can. It's just difficult.
Oh,
Yeah.
I think you
Needs instructions. Now the
Yeah,
adventures
I
and advancement,
find
I'm
it
presuming
hard
that's
to
like
use
about
nowadays.
level 10.
What was it? The
The advancement stuff for the cultures.
I will look at that a little bit. My brain's not there at the moment.
Okay. No, that's fine. You're
Yeah.
doing this stuff.
Okay. So, you are in the Sylvan Lands, and as a reminder, having looked through various source books, I was to figure out it was actually in the Northern Hemisphere, not in the Southern Hemisphere, because depending on which migration map you look at, they are all different.
Okay.
And one of them put a dot and said, Sylvan Realm right here.
Oh.
And it wasn't the one that did the main migration. So it's...
So the first one was Northern Hemisphere, this one Northern Hemisphere as well?
The first one was Southern Hemisphere,
So
that
Southern,
then got shifted to the South Pole when the world changed its axis.
Oh.
Makes sense.
So it was in the Southern
It was
Hemisphere.
this, and then it goes, oops, fell
Yeah.
down. And so then they moved to Northern Hemisphere,
And
this
then
got-
so one end of the continent, then they moved to the other end of the continent.
and then this got destroyed, and their third one is Northern Hemisphere as well?
Yep. The third one is the Elven Forest, where Luel comes from.
Where all the elves are now.
And they have a fourth one to the north of that as well, which Jeremy knows is currently getting wiped out by undead.
Okay.
For no particular reason.
Oh,
Ah, it's
why?
me. That's good enough reason.
He did it. Obviously.
That's okay. The Wednesday and the Friday groups were a little interrelated in responsibility for that one.
Oh, both of them. Oh, okay. So we have 2 groups to play, not us.
Yep.
We're trying
You're
to
both at higher level than you
So,
guys.
so you know
It's
how
one of those
Calcreek got a
groups.
green gem?
Yeah.
It's one
Yeah.
of those groups that
I still got that, don't I?
Yeah.
One of the NPCs decided to
But
leave the
does
good guys
Drazzle
and
know
go
I've got
join
it?
the bad guy
Okay. Because I was sure I
and
told
become
Drazzle at
a
one
minion
point.
to
Possibly, but
We'll have to
because
go
they
back
were
over
such
that later.
assholes
she didn't spend a lot of time with
and
Calcreeks.
got her village wiped
No,
out.
no.
Okay.
So yeah, they're obviously not the good guys.
So on your night of watching, you were going to send off your owl to do some scouting.
We're just going
And-
to
Clarissa's owl, yeah.
Was that still the plan
I
with
was
the
gonna say
realization
that's
of no
cool.
animals at all?
Well, they're gonna. She was gonna make it invisible,
Yeah,
and then
that's
send
true,
it
yeah.
to Scout, and we were gonna observe through the day. Well, we could see, and then take advantage of its invisibility to do night recon as well.
Yeah. But not being close enough to actually see through a guys at the point in time, it was coming back to
Tell us, yeah,
effectively relay reports
yeah.
So
in our versions.
As night falls, you see the tower start to glow.
Okay.
So it does stand out.
So the invisible... Oh no, the owl just by itself glows.
The tower glows.
The tower glows.
As in, it provides its own light source. No need for fires or things like that.
It is its own light source, yes.
Which you wouldn't see during the day because it wouldn't be brighter than daylight.
Yes, that's...
It just looks
yes,
sparkling,
it's
clean and white.
Yeah, it's shiny for the same reason that things with phosphorescent stuff on it are whiter than white.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And it, well, it doesn't explain why you don't see any smoke, which means normally you associate smoke with cooking and warmth and other sort of stuff.
Yeah, but if they're camping out and using pre-pack.
But then being a reputation of having a wizard in the tower means that the necessity for burning things may not be required.
Yeah, they may have enchanted stove.
Or
it would make sense.
Or enchanted rooms that maintain their heat.
Yeah.
Or
rooms that basically mean you don't need to eat.
Or Warcraft started to get stuff from Blackmore and he's got microwaves.
So should I make the tower start to flicker so that works that way?
Magically powered microwave.
What is he running it off? Oh, just the was it nuclear reactor for a starship? It's required to actually make the microwave work.
I think we know who that belongs to, and I think we have to go and get it back.
So yes, so while you're staring away, the tribesman happens to just start staring off into the distance, hearing the sounds of drums.
Mm-hmm. Tribal drums?
Tribal drums.
Sound like Jumanji over here.
Very much
Wait,
so.
do we hear the drums?
No.
Okay.
Just him.
Right.
So you start hearing drums in the distance that get closer and closer.
Mm-hmm. Can I determine direction or anything like that, or are they just in the all around, or?
Whichever way you're looking appears to be the direction it's coming from.
Okay.
Which is really annoying to you because you look in different directions and it's...
Omnipresent.
So what I'm hearing is that they're completely surrounded.
Yes.
And then you start to see a bright, warm glow like from a fire, and you realize it's not actually coming towards you. You're going towards it.
Oh, what fun!
So while you've been looking around everywhere, you just seem to be whichever way you're looking, you're going in the same direction.
Okay.
So
Do
is
I
it
feel
just
like
a
I'm still
tribesman?
do I recognise the location where I started, like the forest and the river and things like that, or have I moved off into the Great Plains?
You recognise your favourite cliff top view of the plateau where you grew up.
Uh-huh.
And this nice little fire is sitting there with a rather pleasant-looking Atruaghin sitting on the other side of the fire from you.
Okay. Well, I will approach.
Well, before you approach, you find yourself sitting on the other side of the fire.
Oh, damn it. So I'll approach and do the appropriate welcome or greetings for a visitor to another man's fire.
And you do recognise that you've had the equivalent of ascending that the shamans talk about happen every now and then when one of the gods just wants to have a word with you.
Hey, it hadn't happened before, but...
and not one shaman has ever said it's a good thing to happen.
Yeah, well, okay, well, certainly it changed the tide of life last time.
It did.
Sent him on a whole new direction of life.
Choices made.
Greetings, Honored Elder.
Okay, so at this point he greets you with your new name. What's your new name?
Dracula. Working on the idea, working on the same concept of the surroundings at the time of your rebirth.
Mm-hmm.
he named the dragon. Draknima.
Right. Okay.
Draknima?
Draknima.
I'm happy with that
Yeah.
I'm
because
presuming it's spelled D-R-A-C or K-N-I-M-A? Guessing.
I probably put it as a Y rather
Y,
than I.
there you go.
And yeah, I'd go for K, but as
Yep.
you say, it really doesn't matter either way, can I say?
Jeremy knows I'll misspell it until he corrects me.
No, I was just guessing too.
Okay,
Yep.
so
I'm glad it was obvious enough to go for that guess.
At least it's better than the game I'm in, where it took the GM 3 years to learn how to pronounce my name.
Oh, that's fun.
And it's really easy. It's just not an English name.
People still can't spell my name or pronounce it these days, and whenever I say it to a police person, they call me a smartass. Because I say Ariadna. And they're like, don't be a smartass. And I'm like,
That's my name.
That's my name.
it's not my fault. My parents
Yeah.
named me that.
and most people we know who've known her for a long time change the A with an E on the end.
Yeah, they call me
Yeah.
Ari or Adriana or
Oh.
Ariadne or all sorts of things.
It's not
I've
that
even been called Adrian.
Better than all you.
It's not that hard. I guess maybe because I know that like everybody knows me. So.
Mm.
But like
Not even my parents call me by my name, the name that they gave me.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's funny.
Yeah.
So he says,
There's irony in
Draknima.
it, I'm sure.
Welcome. It has been a long time since you sat before me. What have you of the outside world to report?
Just trying to think when we start on it. What has gone on in the life since you left the plateau? And not confuse it with
Wednesday nights, yeah.
Yeah, right. So, let's just see what I've got in my notes. So, we're going to do the plateau. Let's do about 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. He will explain that the world outside the plateau is apparently undergoing significant flux, which I'm sure you're very much aware with your presence beyond beyond what the looking after the tribesmen themselves. And that there are seemingly other forces at stake that are trying to change the world, causing strife and destruction everywhere it goes. But fortunately, I think that we can gather the tribesmen into a cohesive tribe before then, so that they will be able to take their own place in the world.
He agrees, and he says it will be your task to gather them together with
Indeed, thank you.
with the dragon tribe.
Okay.
The dragon tribe, as in the ones who have recently arrived that appear to be dragons themselves.
They are part of his lands and happy to be part of his peoples. So he is happy for a new tribe to spring up the dragon tribe.
Well, they are certainly, from what I've seen of them so far, and particularly with the one that has been travelling with me for some time, they certainly have great power and knowledge, and they will be a great bonus towards the for the plateau.
Just because I don't quite understand, are we talking about real dragons or uniting of different tribes or people?
The Dragonborn showed up in the Atruaghin plains first.
Drazzle we're talking about. Okay,
Yeah,
alright.
Drazzle and his people.
Yeah.
So the different tribes of the Atruaghin are named after animalistic
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they
things.
have their totems.
So that's a totem. So he's basically saying he's going to include the dragon totem as a new totem.
Yeah. And include the Dragonborn as his people.
Dragonborn as his
Which
people
gives them a
because
place.
they've grown in his lands.
Yeah.
Because he recognised the Atruaghin, unlike the rest of the setting, welcome the animalistic peoples.
Mm.
So if you're a cat person, a dog person, a bird person,
Any of the beastie types.
any non-human is welcome there, as long as they are happy to work within the beliefs of the peoples.
Mm.
The shapeshifters and lycanthropes and things like that.
Minotaurs.
In themselves, they're fine. It's the fact that often they might have generally evil tendencies makes it a problem. But
Yes,
Well,
but they go and join the tiger tribe.
But unlike other places, the lycanthropes can actually learn to control it in the Atruaghin lands because that's part of their belief system.
Yep.
Yeah.
So they don't become uncontrolled; they can actually
Because they're-
become controlled lycanthropes.
Because they're not outsiders and they're far more settled and they can learn how to do that stuff.
Yes.
yeah, exactly. And what I do find interesting, the accidental connection was the idea of, okay, yeah. So just as Atruaghin comes forward and tells the tribesman that his name is now Dracnima, he's saying, yep, and bring in the dragons.
I thought you would like that because I had that part planned beforehand, but I was waiting until you named your character, and I was hoping it was going to be appropriately named.
But as I say, I chose it purely on the idea, hang on, yep, well, I lost the name, became a new person when I named the dragon. So it was a nice coincidental connection.
And
I'm sure it was all part of Atruaghin's plan.
and apparently you will be the first chieftain of the dragon tribe.
Okay.
I am honoured. I tend to live up to such a reputation, such a position.
Does this involve a wedding?
Well, no, I'm more thinking about the fact that, well, what it really comes down to is the Dragonborn live longer, so he's not actually as ridiculously old as far as they're concerned.
That's valid.
But you also don't know how long they live for because they haven't been around that long.
No, that's right.
But he's got a
Technically,
chance of living long enough to find
ridiculously
out.
old at the moment.
And he also says that the Dragonborn in your company will be your liaison with those of his people.
Well, he has certainly demonstrated knowledge and connections beyond his apparent years. Yes. I must confess that I had somewhat shunned him until this stage, but if he is now one of the part of the honoured tribes of the plateau, then we shall indeed welcome him as a brother tribesman.
And then you sort of blink and realise you're staring at the tower. As everyone's discussing whether or not they should send an owl over there invisible or not.
So he's given you more work to do and no clues about how to do that.
Typical guy.
It's just quite like the public service. They're just like, fix it. And you're like, how? And they're like, we don't care. Fix it. And then when you try to fix it, they go, no, that's going to cost too much. Fix that.
Well, they also know in the setting that the gods are not permitted to tell you how to fix something. They can only tell you to fix it. And if they tell you how to fix it, you no longer are allowed to do it.
Because
That would be them meddling.
it
Yes.
means they're directly involved in the.
What if you
laws.
have no idea how? Will they at least point you to someone who does?
They can
That's-
point you at someone who has divination spells.
And so basically that's what the god did to Jeremy's character, is pointing him directly at someone who can make what
Drizzle.
he said happen.
Yeah.
Which now he's now got an investment in keeping a character alive. They haven't been interacting at all that much because they both dislike each other for exactly the same reasons.
And those reasons being?
Can't understand each other.
I'm glad to hear that Draxel actually cared enough about Dracula to actually have concern to be disliking him like Draxel did.
Yeah, it's quite an honour to be hated by someone. It takes a lot of energy.
Well, he didn't quite hate him. He just didn't think much of him.
That's right. We both just had a mutual distrust, and yeah.
If anything, they were ignoring each other.
Yes.
Mutual
Good.
apathy.
So now I've got to try and win over Drazzle. Marvellous.
You could try coffee. That worked for Calcrix. I think Calcrix had coffee with everyone though, including demons who were supposed to kill her.
But at least you've got a little bit of time. You've got a little bit of time to think about that because hey, Drazzle's not here right now. Unless he goes back there and starts talking to us right now.
Maybe add some cookies. It works for the dark side.
Okay, so the rest of you notice that the tribesman is now wearing a headdress, which he never had before.
Dress?
Headdress.
Headrest.
The feathers and
Headdress. Okay.
Headdress.
I was just checking because although they're technically kind of the same thing,
Close.
Yeah.
one looks quite different to the other. Which one do you want?
I was
Do we
going to
know
get one
his
of the
name?
Cadbury cream ones.
Cadbury ones?
Did you tell us your
Sorry?
name, or
I was
did
gonna say,
you
do
just
we
take
just
it?
know his name, or
Yeah. Do
Does
you
he have to tell
introduce yourself back to us, or?
Well, I guess that's one of the things that might be interesting is that obviously when he lost his name, he'd never had his name.
So now
So
that he has his
now that
name,
he's gained his name, has he always had that name, or is it purely a case of being reborn at that moment in time?
And-
And therefore, people who didn't know beforehand or don't know.
You just chose it, so it's new.
So
But-
you were the one who was formerly known as a tribesman. Now you have a name.
but I guess
Alright,
what Jeremy's asking is just like we all forgot his name ever
Okay.
existed. Do we now
Okay.
only
They
ever
don't know. Yeah.
Okay, here's
They
the
don't know.
Is that new name chosen by the player or the character? Because if it's by the character, it's new and he knows it's new.
It's chosen by the
Oh
player,
my God.
and the god gave it to him.
Right.
So because the god gave it to
the
him.
character knows it's new.
Mhm.
It's not.
Yeah.
I've had this forever.
Yeah.
Right.
And
so
it
Right.
knows that it's its honorific name from that point forward.
the important thing there is he's actually got an impetus to actually tell us what his name is,
So,
rather than just leave it go and assume that we know something we don't know.
yeah, and that's right. So,
Yeah.
the
Is his headdress really noticeable?
It is very noticeable.
Oh, okay.
I'm assuming you're talking the standard American Indian huge numbers of feathers type headdress with,
It's got more scales and feathers
right?
because it is very much
It's draconic.
it's the dragon tribe headdress,
Yeah.
Headdress.
and
Sorry, my brain gets
and so you are Drachnima of the dragon tribe.
And I'm guessing that the dragon tribe do not yet have clan and or
That's a weird setup.
what are the other ones? Something else? Yeah, they don't have a clan association yet, or is it specifically?
They claim no lands, I'm presuming.
They claim lands. They have lands in the water tribe area.
Yes,
or-
but they're not
or do-
tribal lands. They're lands that they're allowed to use.
They do have tribal lands in the water
So
area. They've been there for a while.
So yeah, and I guess that's my question, Martin. If is it the dragon tribe, or is there a effectively different coloured dragon tribes for the dragon clan?
At this stage, you don't really. It's one. You know, it is one dragon tribe.
Yep.
That's part of the turtle clan.
Part of the turtle clan. Okay, yep. So the well, that must have been why I was carrying around the that fish scale money pouch that I found at the bottom of the thing that was of ancient turtle clan design.
Yes.
All the clans are interrelated through conquest,
And intermarriage. And
but
so on.
that is their marriage conquest.
Well,
The males and the females go off and beat up a mate and take the mate home.
yes. And if they're being polite about it, nobody dies. Depends on the state of war at the time.
Well, they have almost a codified war of doing that every year.
Yeah. Well, Maoris do as well. It's one of the reasons they actually like the idea, that plus the violence, they like the idea of having the rule of law involved.
Okay, so
It doubled lifespan.
So basically, certainly when the others question the fact that suddenly I've got a chieftain's headdress on that they wouldn't necessarily recognise as chieftain headdress.
It's a big floofy
Actually,
headdress. We'll take it.
Cluel might, because he spent some time in the
You would.
I would
plateau.
recognise it, and I will mention that.
But you don't recognise where it's from. You just
Well,
recognise
no.
it as a headdress.
It's a chieftain style headdress. Hold on, it's got scales. Have you been doing interesting things?
So when they ask about the headdress, the response will be that, or like say, if you make some comment about the idea of tribesmen, where the headdress come from,
Well, yeah, I just did that.
the response will be that you may now call me Drachnima.
I will do that very thing. Drachnima. Is that Chief Drachnima or potentially Chief Drachnima?
It is as I have been informed by Atruaghin himself, blessed with his presence. It is Drachnima, Chief of Dragon Clan, Dragon Tribe.
Cool.
But so
You've still got to go back.
I feel that most of that will have to wait until I can return to the plateau.
Well, yes, because you've
Bonnie
got
will
to.
give a small sign of respect, just like a quick
Yes.
thing. Kind of
I will
slightly as a
salute.
joke, but still
Yeah.
like respectful.
Yep.
and stuff.
I'll
Just
salute him
like,
for it.
nice to meet you, Chief.
Yes.
That's right, because he doesn't really know how to.
Yeah, the secret chief has revealed himself.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's not that I don't acknowledge, but I'm busy writing this down for my tree.
Yep. Well, you haven't poo-pooed
Wrong,
it. That's
wrong
close
character.
enough.
Don't I have?
That's the Friday one.
Really?
No,
Jesus Christ, I've got to get this.
no, I'm the one with the
Okay.
piece.
All
I'm
right.
the one with the piece.
Something that
Yeah, I'm the gnome now. Okay, alright.
we got
Hey, it could be worse. At one point, I was playing in 8 games a week.
Oh wow.
I don't know how you meant. How do you fit in 8 games a week?
I was
Carefully.
unemployed.
But
2 of them were simultaneous.
I was going to say,
They were
were
both
2
online.
of them on one day or?
Yes, they were both online. They were both just in chat boxes. They were
Okay.
before voice
Yeah.
comms.
So they'll text.
The pure text, and they were both at the
RPGs.
same time.
Alright, fair
Okay,
enough.
so yes.
Something
Nobody
that
noticed.
The rest of the party may notice before Drachnima,
Mhm.
or as I say, it may not be something that affects them or interact at all. Is there any change in his tattoos?
No, they look the same.
Not that they're spotting anyway, because they're all just those weird tribal tattoo type things anyway. So, because of course technically he got the tattoos that appeared when the totems took his the cursed armband off him.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so potentially that yes, they would be deer elk type tattoos initially.
Mm-hmm.
Now, so these outsiders probably wouldn't necessarily recognise the differences potentially. But yes, it will be easy to work out whether they have changed, and if they have, does that affect his poison resistance or poison immunity? We can work that out.
You look and notice that nothing else seems to have changed except that you now have a chieftain's headdress.
Right.
I guess this is not something you can pack up and stick into a bag, right?
He can.
Oh, okay. That might be helpful.
They usually do that.
Okay.
And it might be like Bruce Almighty, no matter how much you do it always keeps appearing on your head.
Mm-hmm. That could be awkward in some circumstances.
It'd be really funny.
And I guess the other thing you can look at, Ariadne, is that if you look at my character symbol on the screen, as we talked about the fact that yes, quickly subscribe, but he's got to have the 1 or 2 feathers at the back. He's now got the full chieftain with lots of feathers all out, or in this case scales. So.
Well, at the moment we just have a Hulk Hogan picture for you at the moment. Oh no, not Hulk Hogan. The Paul Hogan's picture.
Yeah.
Paul Hogan
yes.
picture.
Oh,
Mr.
okay.
Crocodile Dundee.
No, I'm not talking about a picture on the Skype.
Oh yeah, the other one.
The figurine that
That one.
party.
Yep.
Instead of just a couple, he's got lots.
So,
No, gold interest. Probably beaded going into scales, going into feathers.
Most likely a mixture of the two.
Yeah.
And scales can be like long and
Mm-hmm.
inflexible and sharp and things like that.
And even feather-like.
Makes it cool.
Sharks technically have scales, but they're just very differently designed.
There you are.
Yes,
but
they
yes,
are.
certainly not going to go into any great detail at this stage because he doesn't know enough himself to work out where he's going. So.
They're dentine scales, not.
So, have we sent off the invisible owl owl yet?
Invisible ale sounds interesting. I can make ale invisible.
It's hard to tell because you can't
It's
see
really
it.
hard to drink it. Wouldn't
I drink it, it's now not visible.
yeah,
Hard to tell because you
Nari-
can't see it.
Oh,
But she
Nari's
did-
invisible
but she
too.
did turn- Oh wait, yeah. Actually.
You were a bit distracted at the time.
Okay.
But
So
someone showed up with a new hat.
And a name.
Pretty crazy.
After all this
So-
time, he's finally told you his name and you've been travelling with him for a long time now.
he now considers us part of his family.
How great. So, Nari and her owl are invisible now.
Well, they're just not anywhere you can see them.
Okay.
They could have walked off.
True.
She was constantly talking about walking closer to the tower.
She was. Oh, shit. I will try to look towards the tower, see if I can see any sign of movement in the ground. Anything like that, so.
Okay, as you walk forward, you don't see any form of stuff there. How close do you get?
I'll only walk like 5-10 feet. I'm not walking far away.
Okay, 5 or 10 feet, you don't notice.
Yeah. That's all good. I'm like,
So does that roll Nari's or just a general?
That's my roll.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Just checking.
okay. So, from there, I'm just like, well, shit, I don't know what she wants.
And she didn't give instructions this time either.
Nope.
Oh,
So I'll talk to all these guys, and I was like,
Do you want yours?
so, what do you guys think? Morning light? Try to head in?
Maybe just before dawn,
Yeah?
less spottable,
Yep.
and hopefully by then we may have had Nari rejoin us.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds good.
Yep, does.
So, I guess we'll wait until right before dawn.
Okay, so while you're resting, I will have each of you make a insight roll.
Sorry.
That's
16.
okay.
16.
Go and look at my inside. I think I've actually got
17 for Jack Nimmer.
insight.
Dragon down.
16 insights
Yeah.
plus, is it wisdom or?
Plus wisdom, yes.
Yes, unless I've got it as a skill.
Skill, it's just
Unless
plus
you got it
wisdom.
trained. Yeah. I got 21 total.
21
Yeah,
total.
so I've got 17.
Okay, so most of you realize that Drizzle had been saying something rather particular when he was talking to you earlier, when he was doing it, and Llewellyn sort of twigs after a day or so that talking to him really does take a while sometimes to pick up. That what he was saying that was that if he entered the same time as you, he would not leave. And if he did not enter with you, then one of you would not leave.
So he could come in 5 minutes after.
I'm still perplexed by this.
So if we're there and already inside, he'll still be entering without us, so one of us will be leaving. So it's still the same as it was.
So if
he comes inside at all, one of the group is not leaving.
if you enter without him, one of you won't leave.
And of course,
I thought they were saying that if he did.
If he answered with us, he would.
has that already happened?
No, well,
In the sense that when you talk about entering the tower, you may actually be entering the surrounds of the tower, and already those who entered are not going to leave. Because the tribesmen entered and Jack Nimmer might leave.
There is that. And magic does work with things like that.
So Michael, already you've been
Fulfilled.
acted.
It is valid.
I'm not actually I don't think Jack Nimmer's actually recognising the differences enough in himself yet to recognise the fact he was reborn, because technically he was therefore reborn back when he was saw the dragon.
You have a new hat. You have a new hat. That's important.
And a title. A title is an important thing.
Yeah.
Well,
Absolutely.
It's, you as a person are now entirely different to who you were before.
And that all was happening in a blink of an eye.
That's right. He certainly feels very different.
Yes. Plus, you're taller. At least with a hat on.
That's right. So, yes, I have a new title. Almost high when standing on a table.
Or after having smoked those special things with the shaman. Which is far more likely for you.
Absolutely.
Well, that's how they see God. They smoke.
Hmm.
Of course, if it's actually their God, that's a different thing. But
Yes. Well, it actually... Yeah.
it has led to many strange encounters.
Hmm. Yes.
He says we move camp one step to the left. Why? Well, I don't know. That's what he said.
Alright, so if you close your eyes, we'll shift you one step to the right, and then the whole camp will have moved one step to the left and we're done. There we go.
Oh, sorry. Didn't mean to keep knocking the table. Alright, so are we waiting for Nari to appear, or we're just gonna chance that she's still invisible but with us? Do we hear a disembodied voice giving us any information from the owl?
No, and light comes and no report.
Okay. Do we want to wait at this stage or go in? I guess waiting's not necessarily a good option.
Well, certainly from Jack Nimmer's perspective, so when he was talking about planning yesterday, it was slightly different, but his plan and preference was to actually basically sit and watch for a day, 2 days, a few days.
I'm happy to
Just try
keep
and
watching
get pattern
until...
of life in and out of the castle and see if there are ways that might be do a scout around and see if there are other ways that might come through rather than walking across the front drawbridge.
Yeah, well, I'm happy to do that, especially since Nari's disappeared. I asked Lul whether he has any idea where she's gone, or if he can cast some kind of spell to figure out where she is.
Real quick,
Or tracker.
does anybody know if we camp upriver or downriver?
Upriver.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, we didn't camp downwind.
Yeah, good.
The tribesman was
He was quite careful about
careful about that, yeah.
Great.
Want to make sure.
Good old Draco.
Does this mean you're going to start calling him Malfoy?
No, I wouldn't do that to him.
Yes, you would.
Actually, that's what was going through my mind.
I picked
Well-
it.
Technically, dragon, reptile, Slytherin, they're all within the same theme park.
That's true.
Yep. And obviously, not all bad.
Alright, should we split up and go look at various other points?
I'm sure splitting up is the best thing to do.
No, I don't really want to, but I'm asking people, are we just going to remain where we are? Is there some advantage to having a scout around the general area carefully?
Well, certainly if the party is happy to be sitting in this hide and watching the tower and things like that, then and if we're planning on stopping there for at least a couple of days or 48 hours, whatever it might be, then certainly it would make sense to do a bit of scouting in the meantime around the other locations.
I would suggest that maybe we split up into pairs and do that, leaving 2 people at the hide and maybe two more pairs having a look in either direction, but very stealthily, carefully. No drums and trumpets and things.
Okay, so you're just going to watch and see what happens, I'm assuming?
Who would feel like they're the most skilled at moving
Scouting?
stealthily through the forest?
Probably
Lani?
me.
And maybe Lure,
I was gonna say.
depending on.
Stealth.
Well, you got magics, so you might be able to magic yourself.
I can move quietly,
Mm.
usually by teleporting, so I can't help you with it. But
But
I can get
you
to
guys
the-
could scout around the area with
Yeah.
less chance of being spotted and
That's
say,
very true.
me, who might just trip over and set off one of her bombs and then announce her presence to the whole world.
Okay, could you possibly make a silent, obscuring bomb?
Oh,
A silent but
probably could.
deadly bomb.
Pardon?
Yes, and silent but deadly.
Yeah, yeah, I could do
use-
that.
And use that for your own concealment.
Ah.
You can do the stealthy stuff too. It's just choices.
Mm.
We can all do this stuff.
I mean, I'm pretty good at stuff, apparently, so I'll leave it up to.
I don't know that Lardney needs help, but I probably. Well, I'm a gnome, so.
I'm sure things will overlook you.
Mm.
Yeah.
The grass is probably taller than me.
At some point.
Yes.
Well, they don't maintain it.
Yeah.
So I will scout carefully around to see if there's anything that I can see from different vantage points or anything noticeable about the area in general.
Yeah.
People, continued lack of other life forms, places that might be good for cover.
How wide was the river?
The river was, I would probably put it at maybe 100 to 200 feet.
Pretty big.
Mm-hmm.
How fast is the river moving?
Very slow.
Does it look like somebody could swim in it?
You could swim in it easily. You could swim against the current with ease.
Cool.
Does someone want to swim to the other side and have a look around?
The tribesman, Jack Miller was actually looking to actually stay under the water to get across.
Yeah,
So therefore he was not being seen.
yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Though, amusingly, when I'm looking at the scale, they decided that each square should be 3 feet, not 5 feet.
That seems a bit random.
Early game
They're things did get a bit random.
scales were based on personal choice.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
pretty old.
it came down to the writer, and sometimes they were using one that they'd developed.
Oh,
for a
that one
different
has
day.
each square is 2 feet. So different square sizes depending on which map you're looking at.
Oh, brilliant.
So and
And
the
I'm
one
just thinking, that makes it quite a small tower, doesn't it?
the tower itself does not have any scale.
Oh,
Everything but the tower has a scale, but
so
the tower has
so
no
the-
scale.
So the tower is probably in 10-foot squares.
Well, I'm just talking about the fact that if the tower is on an island in the middle of a river, and the river's only a couple of 100 feet wide, presumably there's at least a 20-foot minimum bridge across, and the island is then...
That's about the width of the bridge is 6 squares.
So 3 6s are
I mean,
18 feet.
obviously it doesn't matter too much, but...
And 11 long, roughly, that they show. So
33.
that's if it's using 3. It could be using 2, or it could be using 5.
I
Because
was just taking the middle guess.
the average used to be 5 feet.
Anyway, Jack Nimmer's happy to at least take the other side of the river to do a scout around there. Someone else can come with him or not, but he's happy to go alone if it's
Lonnie will go with you.
So while you're doing that, I will have you make stealth rolls for the 2 of you.
Yep.
As close to midday, you see a rather large silhouette rise up out of the tower.
Okay.
18.
18.
Jack Nimmer's on 24.
Technically, it was on 24.
23, sorry.
20. Okay, so what?
But as I say, he can actually effectively not breathe or hold his breath long enough to basically walk under the water.
It is handy to pick up a rock and just walk under the water.
Of course, depending on what's in the river then, but I'm sure we hadn't seen any evidence of any living creatures in the water in the same way we hadn't seen anything in the forest and the air. So.
Yeah. And it doesn't take you long to walk across the other side. And when you come out, you also see the big shape rise up out of the tower.
Just with a slight levity, why did the Atruaghin cross the river?
Sorry.
To find the dragon on the other side.
Yeah.
The kicking.
Froggy Drassel.
Okay.
Yeah, so when we're talking a giant shape, we're talking a wyvern.
It looks too big to be a wyvern, but it looks like a wyvern shape.
Right.
It's a wyvern of unusual size.
Oh, a dragon, much my kind.
Right.
So that makes it a woos.
Yeah.
Most likely, yes.
Well, certainly the idea, the initial will be to take cover and avoid being seen.
Yep.
Watch which way it goes. So, can we see if it might have a rider on it?
It does appear to have a rider on it.
Right.
A person in grey robes, but you can't really see them clearly.
Well, hey, I reckon I can be fairly confident there's not that many people who are likely to ride a wyvern of unusual size.
And also carrying a staff of some sort that glints in the light.
So,
I wonder who it could be.
Yes.
he's
It's
the
a
sort of thing
mystery.
that potentially, with the cat away, the mice can play.
Yeah.
And it heads south away from you.
Okay.
Okay, so it's headed down the same side of the river that we've currently just
It's
gone across to.
it's heading away from you. So you cross the river to the north of the tower,
Oh yeah.
and
I was
it's
picturing
flying
the river
south.
being a sort of east-west river.
Okay.
By just because we travel south to the tower, so I was just thinking, oh yeah. Yep. Okay.
Okay, so you can sort of see that little dot that's
Yep.
well lit up there,
Yep.
and that blue line that goes through.
Yep.
It's got you came in from.
We came from the north.
and
We went-
it's heading south. So the river
Yeah.
was east to west.
Yeah. Okay. So we've just crossed to the southern side of the river,
Mhm.
and the mage on his wyvern is flying further south.
Yep.
Yep. Well, speaking quietly with Lani then on the idea of that, I'm guessing that was probably Blackmore leaving.
Yeah.
Moorcroft.
Potentially, it's a good chance to
Moorcroft.
actually.
Blackmore's the stuff. Moorcroft is the guy.
Sorry, yeah, Moorcroft, yeah. Potentially it would be worth
Entering.
getting in, but again, middle of the day, I suspect that it might be hard to get in without being seen, unless we can go under the bridge.
I'm sure you can speak friend and enter.
If we use exactly that word and it works, I'm going to throw something at you.
Hey, a lot of this stuff is based on Tolkien's work.
Of course it is.
I guess.
It's just so funny when it's literally.
That's true. I still want to play on Lord of the Rings.
At least from the southern side, all we can see is that there is a bridge going over. So
Both bridges look the same.
from
So can we see on the
my question is there any sewer grates or anything either from
Give me
the
a investigation roll.
Okay. I got no. That one. I was looking. I was trying not to drown.
Pretty tower.
Oh, it's shiny.
You keep interrupting Drachmia and pointing out all the shininess of the tower.
I was like, do you feel like this side's shinier? I feel like this side's shinier. I don't know why.
Well, are the shiny things she's seeing? Do they appear to be guards? Actually, we can cross the bridge potentially to get to the island where the tower is.
Mhm.
How much land is there before you start hitting tower, or is it effectively the bridge goes straight to the tower?
There is no land. It is just tower.
Okay.
So
Like it's rising out of the water.
it's got some land around it, but the bridge goes straight from shore to tower.
Yeah. As I said, considering the size of the river, it must have been a fairly small island, and so therefore the tower fills up the entirety of the island.
Yeah.
So, is there doors, or is it an archway? Is it like, can we potentially walk straight through, or do we have to try and go through a closed door or closed portal or gate or whatever?
There is a portcullis.
Okay.
Show Jeremy
Okay, yep. And so that's effectively the same on both sides, is it?
It is effectively the same on both sides, just that from one side you can't see the other bridge clearly.
Absolutely, yeah, that's understandable. But obviously we'd already seen the other bridge from the other side anyway, so...
And what did Jeremy's investigation, what did Drachmy's investigation give him?
13... 19.
Okay, you do notice something out of place with the brickwork on the eastern side of the tower, on the shore. There is enough room to stand on there.
Okay.
And it does seem to have some inconsistencies there.
Okay. That certainly seems to be worth investigating. And again, we'll avoid crossing the bridge to get to it. So I'd be happy to be going effectively under the water again. And are we seeing anything more from the guards on top of the tower, anything like that? Are they still just apparently the same on this side as they were from the other side?
Give me an insight roll.
17 plus...
Lonnie can have an insight
24.
roll on this too.
Modified 20.
Okay, so Lonnie does pick something up. She thinks that there's something weird going on there. And then Drachmir obviously points out that it is they are moving in the same pattern every time. There's no variation in their movement.
Useful knowing.
Interesting.
Okay.
And
Shiny, shiny.
and you've never noticed anything actually move that precisely.
Okay, well, having spoken to Lani about this, I'm thinking that we, particularly with the Moorcroft having apparently just left, it's appropriate for us to go back to the other side to try and catch up with them. We shall stop partway at that eastern point of the tower, and I shall point out what I'm thinking I'm seeing in the brickwork. And stop there and have a look at that before going further across. And aiming to time it so as that we can pop out of the water, or at least take a glimpse from underneath the water level, so that we've got the best gap between people who might be walking and could potentially look down. At the moment we're actually on the island on the eastern wall.
Okay, give me a perception roll as you do so.
Just him or both?
Both of you.
19.
That can't be awful, can it? 19?
18.
Okay, the two of you both notice that there seems to be some sort of partly open door here. That doesn't look like it's been used in a long time. It looks very, very close to the rest of the stonework, except it's slightly open.
Okay. Can I hear or see anything? Like, is there actually a crack in it that I can see through, or is it just like the idea of, hang on, yeah, I look like I could open that if it needed?
You can see the whole seam of the door as it is partly open,
Yeah.
but you think if you were to push it, you might not figure out how to open it again.
Yeah, and also obviously I can't see through the door, like through the crack, because the door's thick enough that it's not actually open the width of the door, the thickness of the door.
It is not open. It's not open the thickness of the door.
So
No.
I say, I'll say to Drachmir, I'll say, look, we know what's the space is gone right now. I don't know how long of an opportunity we're going to have to get this hint of surprise if we can get inside the tower. I think we need to get the others, and we need to get moving to here right away.
Absolutely, I agree. Now, when we left, there were a couple others that were going to be going off in a different different direction, were they? Or were the others all staying at the hide and we were going off in different...
Well,
we were timing our scouting at different times?
You had two of you who were keeping watch from the hide.
Yeah, so if those guys went across the wither, I would have stayed.
And you're still waiting to find out what happened to the elf who had this brilliant plan about using invisibility, but didn't quite explain it all to you.
Yeah. Okay, because it's only 4 of us, right? Isn't it? Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
Yeah, sorry, yes.
So it'd be me and
for some reason I had 5 to 6, but yes.
hide.
Yeah.
Yep.
In that case, yeah.
A few?
The...
Oh no, that's okay. I'm trying to remember party members.
I'm assuming we
Six
found
all
that
up.
we've been going across the river
Drizzle being one?
fairly equivalent in pace.
Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah. Do we both want to go back, or do you want to have one wait here and make certain we don't lose where this door is?
We should probably have one wait here, so,
But noting, of course, that you might be exposed, can we effectively see straight up the wall? Does it look like anything? Because it didn't look like anything was... If they were being mechanistic in their movements, I'm guessing they possibly didn't necessarily tend to look down directly down the tower too often.
You don't remember ever seeing them look down.
Yeah. So we should be fairly safe at
They're
this.
on the eastern side of the tower.
So I will just stick to the edge of the wall, waiting here until he can return with the others. And I'll also just say, when you get to the camp, if you still can't see Mari, just tell her what's going on. Just say out loud.
Leave a
what's going on,
note.
and hopefully she'll catch on.
Yeah.
So, yep. I'm sure we can leave a
You see
message.
this post-it note stuck to the hide.
It is very amusing to have a character who can do invisibility, turn invisible at the time they miss the game.
And then,
It's really funny.
she's having adventures.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, then in that case, Jackmere will head back across the river, again, staying underneath the water level, and come out, not directly where the party is. He'll deliberately aim to come out a little bit offset from them, so therefore he can...
You did have to go about a mile upriver to find them.
Yeah. So, but on the only being, yes, he's quite to stay underwater for a while as well, and but he's not aiming to actually try and arrive at the site.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to come out of the water and be able to move through the forest quietly and stealthily before coming up onto them. So, ensure that he's not being followed or seen. And then he will report back to the others as to that, yes, don't know whether they spotted it, but apparently Moorcroft has left the castle and headed to the south. And we believe we may have found a way in to the side of the tower, which will save going over the bridge.
Yes.
Assuming people can effectively swim, or at least we can swim under the bridge, maybe, if it's going to be a problem, or stay under the bridge. But do people feel that they can get across 150 feet of water or so
Would I have
without
to
being seen?
Without being seen.
be on
that's gonna be
someone's
interesting.
back? Can I swim on my own? I
You
don't
can-
know much about my...
You can swim on your own.
Yep.
It's quite... Most people have the capacity to swim. It's athletics at the worst case.
And you can make yourself floaties.
It's a
Yep.
slow-moving river,
Yep.
so the ability to move across it is not that hard.
Yes, doing so without being seen, impossible.
Sounds a lot like a river that I used to go to, you know, just like a lot less wide, that's all.
Because I presume
fun.
being underwater is a little bit harder for me because I'm so small, I would see if I could build myself like a little nest or something to disguise my head as a bit of debris,
That works.
and hopefully nobody realises that
Okay.
it's moving
Give me a survival roll.
in the opposite direction.
It's a really good idea, I like that.
No.
Jack Nimmer can help you. You can get
Look,
advantage.
Cow Creek's fell over, you know it's bad.
You can get advantage if Jack Nimmer can help you.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna need it. What does that mean if I get advantage?
If you get advantage, you get to roll twice and take the higher of the two rolls.
Okay. Well, you go in jail. You can come in. No, you can come back out of jail. Keep your
There's your
7.
dice jail with your other dice that was in dice
Yeah.
jail.
So that original one was a 7. The other one was a 5.
Oh no.
I should have just got Draknimar to make it.
Okay, so
I wouldn't be surprised if Draknimar went, no, took it off my head and put his own on.
So you're watching Duke and Cover start making a headdress out of explosive materials.
Yes.
I could have used my Tinkerer's thing, couldn't have I?
Okay.
Yeah.
Realising the fact that, yes, normally she can do stuff very easily, but apparently not with natural materials.
It seems that he's struggling a bit.
It seems to be setting it up to light it up when she gets in the water.
Yeah, no. I'm happy for someone to intervene.
So Jack Nibble will help to provide a better headdress and also find a nice reed that will allow her to act as a snorkel type stuff.
Yep.
Okay, so you get her a snorkel, make it look like floating moss, instead of something that's about to go kaboom.
Yeah.
And how's Clue going? Does he need similar support?
Yes, please.
Well, he can set that up very easily for you too.
Yes, I don't have...
Your dice aren't trying to kill you, obviously.
Yeah. Athletics is not trained, which means it's quite basic.
It's just for future
17 on the
question.
die
Would I
roll, though.
use there's this gnomish
Tinkering.
magical tinkering. Would that have been the one I would use?
You could have made things like that. You could even have made a something that helped you swim.
I also have Flash of Genius, don't I?
That allows you to use different abilities.
Okay, so that's in combat, Flash of Genius.
I'd have to look at the text.
Okay, don't worry. Magical tinkering would have done it, and I could have made myself swim better.
Yeah, you could have given yourself something to pull you along underwater.
Yeah. Made a pair of flippers or something.
Oh, okay. Is there a reason why I can't try that as well?
Because you've already got something working.
Okay, alright, fine.
And the next thing you know, you've got this moss going against the stream. It's going upriver while the river's going the other way.
I'm just hoping their observation isn't that.
So, why is that moss blinking? I don't know.
Lucky I don't have a pipe regularly in my mouth. Although I have a snorkel, so. But the smoke might have given me away.
It might have, yes.
But yeah, so
what's the
are we
reward
able
of
to
a
effectively
small
get across?
steamboat?
So yes, you don't have a lot of difficulty getting across
Tiny size.
with many plans and someone who's good with water and someone who loves water. Lani loves water, so it's basically her favorite place to be.
Yeah.
Favorite thing.
I can see your point of view, really.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
Especially when it's warm.
It's a great time. Just have a mead or 5 and just hang out. It's great.
Okay, so you managed to reach the wall at about 2 hours after midday.
Mm-hmm. And we haven't seen any sign of the light river returning yet?
Not yet. Or at least Lani hasn't, who's been here the whole time.
Yep.
Okay. I will encourage the others potentially to just hold on to the water's edge, like at the edge of the island, and maintain cover while
I will maintain looking like a moss.
Jack Mills aim to actually come out and see if we can actually open this passage. Has Lani heard or seen anything in the meantime while she was waiting there?
Great question.
Okay, so give Lani a perception roll.
24.
Okay, so every now and then you see silvery lines in an Elvish script appear on the doors.
Okay, so I'll say that. And I'll say, look, I don't speak Elvish story of this whole realm of us being here, but every once in a while, about every so-and-so minutes, there's some fancy writing that shows up. So if one of y'all that reads the fancy writing can read it when it shows up again, that'd be great.
So where was the writing appearing?
On the wall.
Just on the wall next to her? Next to the door?
It's where the door is. The door
Okay.
The door looks like part of the wall.
Okay, alright. Yeah.
Jack Nimmer can speak and read Elvish, so
which is handy. As you look at it, what other language does this Drachnima know?
He's got, where are we? Theatin, various tribes of Atruaghin, Alphasian, Draconic, Ethangarian, Giant, Gnomish, Mackay, Troldaran, Elf, Thieves' Cant, and also he can understand and speak. Understand the languages of snakes and Yuan-Ti type peoples. It's obviously all part of his preparation for becoming Dragon Chieftain.
So as
quite
you
the linguist.
look at the door, you see the Elvish script appear, and it's Elvish script written in Draconic.
Okay.
Okay, interesting combination.
And it is basically saying secret door.
I thought it was going to be something like this, or
Okay.
something similar, like
Okay.
But it says so in about 20 or 30 different words.
Yes.
Secret door just here. Here is secret door.
Having someone who can actually read that is actually quite rare.
Oh yes,
It
the
is.
secret door for the tower's secret door.
Yeah, I
The
know,
tower
but
that
Draconic
leads to
script,
door.
Elven language.
I see what you're doing.
The word, the phrase they've got there is secret door, but it's long and involved. You have to know both Elvish and Draconic.
Yes, you do. If you didn't know
And
both
when-
Elvish and Draconic, you
Well,
wouldn't
you're
read
putting
it.
it together.
As opposed to Dwarvish and Elvish.
Yeah.
Or you happen to be a warlock with the right Eldritch gift, and you can look at it and just know what it says.
Does he?
Is yours a literal translation or a comprehended?
It's understand.
Okay, in case in understanding it is different than what Jeremy got.
That's right.
So-
it's not a transliteration.
It is basically saying speak friend and enter.
Oh dear.
So, yeah, but from what I got, it's just saying secret door is here.
Yeah.
It doesn't actually specify where how to open or anything like that.
Not the way you read it. Do you read it out loud?
Great question.
He probably just made comment about the idea of why would the elves say the secret door's here?
Just in case there was a particularly less intelligent one.
Yeah.
As he
They're not
starts
all just
investigating
beautiful and intelligent.
the wall to see if he can find the opening mechanism.
That's right.
And looking at it, there doesn't seem to be any mechanics involved in it at all. There are no
Okay.
hinges, no
You give the
handles, no levers, no...
Can you
So,
do the whole shave and a
Does it
haircut
just
now?
push open, or?
So I'm certainly working on the idea that Drachnima will spend at least a few minutes trying to open this door, or trying to work out how to open the door.
You go in his.
Whether or not others then look at it and say, well, why don't you just speak friend?
Well, that's what the warlock got.
That's right, so...
So if I say Malum, it'll open up.
You go up there.
In what language?
Elven with a draconic accent?
Apparently it didn't move.
Oh. In draconic then.
Okay, it opens.
Just as Drachnima had pressed a certain brick, found it.
Come on. Yeah. You coming?
But yes, he will avoid actually jumping back when the door suddenly opened when he wasn't really expecting it to, because otherwise he hasn't got anywhere to jump back into other than the water. But yes, he will aim to at least be on alert to see if there's anything immediately going to be visible on the other side.
Okay.
Does the door open towards or away from us?
It opens towards you.
Okay.
And
So it's
inside you see a large round pink marble hall that rises 30 feet high to a brass covered dome radiating a strange but pleasant light. 2 rows of pillars extend from the large carved oak front door and back door to a round passage in the side of the wall opposite where you are, filled with a billowing silver mist. Translucent curtains hang between the pillars. 2 flights of white marble stairs lead up to the next floor, flowing following the round curve of the wall, 2 large statues depict warrior owls stand in the hall, their backs turned to the stairs.
So they're real people, not statues. They're elf warriors.
Well, the statues are bigger than a normal person.
Right. Okay. Statues.
So,
Sorry, Mr. was.
Yep, all good. He was
Distracting
making
me.
lots of noise.
I should get a bonus for picking him up with numb hands.
Did a good job.
You're getting a purr.
I'm learning lots of things. Do you
Jack
know?
Nimmer will carefully step into the room and step to the side immediately, trying to stay stealthy out of sight, basically to allow space for others to come in, since there wasn't a lot of space outside.
Alright, I'll follow Jack.
The, we're not seeing any people in here or any movement.
You don't see any movement in here. You don't hear any sounds at all.
Okay. And there were seemingly just the 2 exits that we knew about because they were the entrances that we didn't come through. Is that right?
That is correct. The
Yep.
2 big oaken doors.
So the only way the only apparent pathways are the 2 stairs going up. Is that right?
That is correct, yes. Did you say something about a mist or something on the other side of us? The silvery, a misty opening at the other end of the hall, you can see. From where you came in.
Okay.
So it was silveriness of the door that is behind us at the moment?
That's in. So, north to south are
Yep.
the big oaken doors.
Yep.
You came in from the east, and on the west is the silvery portal.
Okay, alright.
And is that effectively, like I'm guessing, are we actually effectively under one of the staircases on
You
our
are
side?
you are under one of the staircases.
Yeah, okay. And the silvery mist is under the other staircase on the other side.
It is, yes. And you are basically behind one of the statues, and the statue's in front of the other portal.
Okay. And how wide was the whole, the insides?
30 feet?
I would say close to 100 feet wide.
Okay.
So 30 feet was the height of the ceiling, I think.
30 feet was the height of the ceiling, yeah.
Okay, and so the silvery mist would appear to be effectively on the other external wall. Is that the intent?
It is. It does remind you of that time you travelled to the other world.
Into Francia?
Yeah.
The Rainbow Bridge?
No.
No.
Oh, that one too, possibly. No, this is when we went to, we were caught in Castle Amber and went across to, well, at that point, far future France from our perspective, but old France from our perspective.
More than one year. Yes.
So we
And a place where Thanatos won.
Yep.
did he have a glove with like things in it?
Well, he was the Reaper of Death.
That would,
Yes, Thanatos, not Thanos.
yeah.
No, I
Yeah.
was playing
Yeah.
on that word exactly.
Yeah.
So I couldn't think of the word.
He had a
gem.
magic scythe, not a glove.
Yeah,
And it had no stones, unfortunately.
stones. That's the word I was looking for.
And the both the main entrance doors are closed, are they not?
They are closed, and they have silvery swirls all over them, looking like trees.
Okay. Well, I'm suggesting we can either go up the stair that we're currently under right now, go across to check out the other portal, or go up the other set of stairs. Has anyone got any preferences? I'm thinking that if there is another portal, like my thought, if we go and check the other side of the room with the other potential portal, we're certainly not going through that portal. We should investigate the tower first, because
Oh, yeah.
presumably the tower is where the baby centaur is.
And goodness knows where that portal will take us.
Well,
So-
there are 5 towers above the where you are now.
Yeah, 'cause
Yeah.
you can assume that
Fine.
we're in the base of the tower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's 5 towers to go up from here. So my vote is to go up the staircase that we're currently under.
Yep.
That's right. Both the staircases in this room appear to go to the same place, I'm assuming, is that
They
right?
do, yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, then I would vote to go up.
Yep. which does that mean we can stay under the staircase until we quickly move around just at the end there and aim to move near the wall and keep going up to the staircase to the next level, wherever that may be.
Yep.
But before we actually, if it's depending on how it's laid out, if it's sort of like an open hole in the next level above, before we poke our head through from the stairs, so
See what we can see.
up and anyone see anyone? Hear anyone? Before we actually go up onto the next floor.
Wouldn't it be really handy right now to have an elf that could make herself invisible?
Whoa, crazy. Well,
If I could do that, that'd be
she may
brilliant.
be with us now. We don't know.
That's just
Right.
crazy talk.
Yeah.
We'll hear, you know, something strange,
Yeah.
and then we'll have to call the Ghostbusters.
Okay, so as you come up, you see the other set of stairs meeting up. So whichever one who had gone up, they'd meet together.
Yep.
And this is the level of. They both come out at the same point. You see two sets of white marble stairs are separated by this large round hall by a series of thin alabaster columns. The walls of the floor and the ceiling are all made of smooth white marble. In the center of the floor appears to be a circle with a mosaic depicting a large white oak. An archway of porphyry pillars extends from the stairs to the opposite side of the hall, near a circular dais in which is a finely carved ebony throne. Light green veils gently hang between the pillars, filtering the coloured light coming from 8 large stained glass windows all around the room. Though the fine veils, you can see a silvery studded door on each side of the hall.
So for the outside, obviously we had the 5 towers sitting on top of a base. We're coming on the base. Do we have any idea how big the base is? How many levels might be in the base?
You think you've gone halfway up. The next level up would be the roof of the base.
Okay. But can we see any way up from this room? Like, is there any staircases visible, or is it going through those doorways that you put out?
Nothing appears to be visible. You'd have to go through the curtains to the...
Oh, okay, so curtains are actually blocking off part of the room.
Obscuring. Yep.
Okay, yep.
Right.
But we're not hearing or seeing anyone?
You do not hear or see anyone.
Well, Jack Neal, he'll basically aim to go near one of the curtains, I guess, so you can be easily jumping behind if you need to. And basically look on the other side of the curtain and then decide whether or not he's going to go up to the throne or not. So,
Okay.
is that what he's going to do?
Yep.
Yep.
Just follow where we're talking to.
Yeah. Right, he's doing the scouting leading thing at the moment.
He's chieftain right
Yes.
Okay, so as you look around the hall, you look through the curtains first.
Yes, certainly. The curtains are not actually against the wall, even if they are against the wall.
So
you can actually look behind the curtains and because they might something hide behind there, but we'll know that sooner rather than later.
So think that a third of the circular room has been partitioned off by pillars and curtains.
Oh, okay.
And so you're in the centre portion.
Yeah, okay. So when we came up the stairs, effectively it looked like, rather than a circular room, what we could see was a wide corridor with curtains on either side of the walls. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, yeah.
But you
now.
can,
Makes more sense.
but you can see through them because they're see-through.
Yeah.
It was sheer, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll definitely then be double checking that there's nothing obvious on my room. Okay. Moving down the corridor a little bit to the end of the curtains, and then taking a look behind the curtains to confirm as few as they appear to be.
Mm-hmm. Having a look, they are sheer and very lightweight. And you can see what appears to be a door on a round room to the far wall behind the curtains.
Okay, but nothing else of interest in it. Like obviously, the stained glass windows will be more visible now, but otherwise, it's apparently this third of the room is fairly empty.
This third of the room is fairly empty, except for the stained glass windows.
Yep. My intent will be to actually stay on this empty side of the room and move to the other end of the curtains, up towards the throne room end, or the throne room, and take a look out at the throne from the side in that sort of way.
Okay.
If there's anything otherwise which becomes otherwise obvious.
So it is a ebony throne that appears to have been carved from a single piece of ebony.
Didn't you say it had like some sort of green or tree or something?
Light green veils were hanging between the
okay.
pillars.
But didn't you
And
mention
there's a big
the
tree
light oak
mosaic
tree?
on the
Is that
on the floor.
That's on the floor.
Oh,
The
I see,
mosaic's on the middle of the floor, so
Yeah.
it's a huge mosaic.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
So technically,
Just trying to pick where the
if you've
tree
been
is.
following Jack Newman, you've avoided the tree so far.
Yes.
Because, is there anything behind the throne, or is the throne go up against the back of the wall?
There is a space behind the throne. Give me a perception roll.
Because hey, that's what I was planning on walking across to look behind the other throne, so the other curtain. Perception of 13 with my 3.
Oh
Okay, with a 13, you don't really notice much.
Okay.
The throne itself is distracting. It will be a fine throne for your rule as chieftain.
no.
Yes.
Okay. What I was really looking for behind the throne was actually to see if I could walk behind the throne to the other side behind the curtain. So if I'm not seeing anything, I'm going to actually try and aim to quickly duck across to the other side.
Before he does that,
Yep.
considering I'm a small stature, do I see anything different behind the throne from
Sure,
my
give me
perspective?
a perception look as you.
Which dice descend to Java next?
Hopefully a d20.
13.
A 13.
I don't know. I think my perception's +7 though. It's pretty high.
If it's trained, sounds about right.
I've got. Is that senses?
Yeah, perception.
Yeah, it's +7 or passive perception 17.
So that means you got a 20.
Yeah. Yep.
So you tap Drachmir and point out a secret door he just walked past.
I tug on your sleeve or tunic or clothing, but silently point out and mouth secret door because I don't know if it's safe to be loud at this stage. If I have to, I'll mime a door.
Certainly, I'm certainly been aiming to be as quiet as possible on the whole thing. Hey, it's a bit disturbing, the idea of this great tower with no one here. But I'm happy there's no one here because it makes it easy to walk around. But
Yes. I'll point it out to the other two if they're in a
stopping
position
momentarily as I'm
to see
crossing
it.
behind the throne. Can I see the secret door that's pointed out?
Yes, you can see it. It is quite obvious you walked right past it.
Okay. I was concentrating on getting to the other side and looking at the rest of the tower, the rest of the room first. So.
I'm too small to appreciate the throne. I probably need like a climbing rig to get up it.
Later.
Yes. Drachmir will just acknowledge the fact that it's been spotted, but he's going to keep moving to the other side of the room with the curtain.
Crank yourself.
As if he was that door, he's like, he is the door, is it? Obviously.
He's starting to sound more like Dimitri as the days go by.
I was going to say, you're starting to sound real familiar.
No, okay. From his perspective, it was, hey, yeah, there might be something jumping out of there, that's a problem, but more importantly, there might be something jumping out, there's a big space behind the curtain, I'm guessing. So.
Okay, so as you look behind the curtain on the other side, you also see another round room against the wall with door on it.
Okay.
So these might be the towers, because they're all round rooms with doors in them.
Yeah.
Or there might be another spiral staircase up to the towers. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. the yeah. I will, since I'm already on that side, my plan will be to go and have a look at the doors to this round room.
Yep.
And
The left side or the right side?
Well, whichever side I've ended up on.
You've ended up on the left side.
I'm thinking that we started on the east wall, went up the east staircase, therefore would have been still onto the east side initially of the curtain, and then we've crossed to in my case, I've crossed to the western side of the tower.
So technically, when the spiral staircases came together, the way that they've done it is really weird. But
I'm assuming the spiral staircases probably came together like on either the south or north side.
So you know how the river goes east to west?
Yeah.
The way they've done the map, they put the bridges east to west.
Yeah, they turn it halfway,
So
so you can hang the book up and have north at the top.
Mm.
Yes, but they basically put the bridge where the river's supposed to be, so the river's crossing the length of the river, not the breadth of the river.
Because they did that and then fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah. But from my perspective, Martin, I've got no, like, I'm treating them effectively as the same, so you can treat us as being at the...
This would be the west, you get to the west side of the tower.
That would make sense, yep. And so then, yeah, he's basically going to be going up and examining the door.
Mm-hmm.
Can you hear anything on the other side?
He cannot.
Oh, yeah. You sure? 30 upgraded on his perception.
Even listening quite closely, you don't seem to hear anything coming
Confident
from
there's
up
nothing
there.
on the other side of the door that's making noise, yes.
He is quite confident.
To the door to be trapped. 24.
Does not appear to be trapped at all.
Okay. Does it appear to be locked?
It does.
I
was gonna say it's happened at some point. Something's gonna.
I will attempt to unlock the door.
It doesn't have a keyhole.
Can it? Oh, so a tinkerer couldn't get anywhere with it.
Unless you played with the hinges.
It's probably, as with everything in this realm, a little bit magical.
Mm.
Okay.
But so am I.
You have to
He got a total of
master
17 using these tools, but obviously he's having trouble finding a place to actually.
There doesn't seem to be a good place to stick the tools.
Have a look for magic.
There's magic everywhere.
So it's useless. Okay.
Everything glows.
Yeah.
Being that this
So
looks
nothing
like it's
glows
of elven
specially.
design, is there any?
I would say it might be a certain
Yeah.
passcode that somebody knows
Somebody.
how to say.
Yeah.
Might be Malum again. In Draconic.
You want to try it?
I say that.
Nothing happens.
Oh dear.
Just
Is
try
there
all the languages.
Any lettering at all?
Give me an investigation roll.
Okay.
Can more than one of us examine the door at the
Yes,
same
you can.
time?
Yeah.
Would you like to do an investigation roll?
I don't want to get in Lua's way, but yes.
Well, you wouldn't. You're about half his height.
I got
Okay.
that 20.
You got a natural 20?
Yeah.
Okay, well, these guys are starting to look at stuff. You just point, why didn't you look there?
Yeah.
So I'm just like, hey, that's a thing.
See, this is why you go as parties, because when one of
Yeah.
you misses something, someone else spots
That's
it,
right.
and then eventually we all
I
get
got a
through.
20. Not
Okay,
natural, but I got a 20.
so right
You
where
pointed and go, yeah, you're right.
right where she's pointing, you can feel that there's writing that you can't see.
Braille.
You
Get some
feel-
chalk and go over it to bring out the highlights.
There's no highlights.
It's more like an internal feeling.
Yeah.
I'll copy the shapes out on a bit of paper while I'm doing my finger thing.
Okay, so give
Or I'll just shape the letters out.
give me an insight roll as you fill the letters out.
Well, inside I'm trained at. And get a sucky roll. Oh, look, there's letters.
What did you get?
10.
10. Okay, so as you're filling up the letters, it eventually has something about touching here to open as the door unlocks.
The door unlocks.
You're like, what is this saying?
Yeah.
And then click.
You didn't quite understand what it was saying, but the door unlocked.
I'm doing this, and I'm leaning on the wall, and suddenly this goes click.
Yep. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Try not to fall over on your way in.
So you have a feeling that there is some sort of illusion over the top of it, hiding the actual lettering that you can feel.
Yeah, that's how I do it. Yeah.
Um,
At least my
and
dex is okay enough. I'm not gonna fall.
so what does the door open into?
It opens into a spiral stairwell going up.
So this is
Okay.
the west side door, correct?
This is the west side door.
Do we need to start walking up the stairs?
Quietly, we're going to go upstairs here, or do we want to check the other doors?
You start clicking as you go.
Just very silently. Just.
So, okay. Dracula is actually questioning the rest of them. Are we going up here, or are we going to go check the other doors? This door might be as good as any, but the secret door might also be of interest.
I think while we're here, it makes sense to explore fully so that we can make an informed decision.
Yes, I really
After
have
that?
got players who are like this.
Okay. So you start going up the stairs.
Mm-hmm.
As you take the stairwell up, you realise why you didn't hear anything from this stair with your wonderful roll of 30 before.
Didn't we just decide to check the other doors?
I just asked if he was going up the stairs and he said yes.
I thought you said that we were going to go and mark off the wall we got first.
Yeah, I meant where we are on the level that we're in. Like,
So-
before we
so-
change levels, maybe
Duke-
we
My
should...
understanding was to go up there.
Yeah,
Sorry.
so, no, I've got...
Duke turns
yeah.
around as Draconier starts walking up.
Yeah, no, I will quietly call attention to the fact that, and try to clarify that I meant while we're here, because if we find out what's behind all of the doors, you know, it could be that the centaur's kept behind one of the doors here and we don't have to go upstairs yet and we can get into safety quicker. So he might be behind the secret door.
I guess
Well,
that's the question. The east and west doors, were they secret doors or were they pretty obvious doors?
The big doors that you saw.
No. The ones on the level we were on.
Oh, the one that you're on like now were obvious.
Yeah.
Those were obvious, but
Because our
there
part of the
is a
circular
door
were
behind
built
the...
in.
But they were behind their curtains.
So the door we opened was the west obvious one.
Yeah.
So I would suggest we backtrack to the secret door and see if we can...
But I'm also assuming the secret door, if it was effectively in the wall behind the throne,
Yep.
based on the design of the tower, I'm assuming there's not actually a lot of space that door could lead to. Is that correct?
That is correct.
So I can't.
Oh, so it might
I can't
be a-
imagine it's the prison for the
Okay.
centaur.
Yeah, that's good reasoning. Feel free to proceed to previous misunderstood plans.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I'm also happy with the fact that apparently Jack Nimmo starts to go up the stairs, and apparently we're being told he discovered why it was so quiet
Yeah.
before he decides to come back down again or not.
Okay, so it's a large meeting room with a long mahogany table and really comfortable looking chairs, because it does say comfortable looking chairs, with one really large one carved in ebony, very much like the throne, occupying one end of the table, but with plush cushions on this one.
Cool.
A large fruit horn sits on the table with various fruits in it. A rack on the northwest side holds dozens of bottles, and there is a chest in the northeast side of the room. A flight of stairs rise above a set of double doors up to the next level.
The
They
princess is always in the tower.
separated from the room by an elegant archway, and a small wooden door opens to the north. And that's the one. That's the door you came through. The small wooden door opens into this area.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
I'm a bit confused, but...
So you've got a round room. You've got the on the west side of it is the stairwell you just came up. The room is dominated by a large table with food on it, and then stairs on the other side of the room
Right.
that rise up over a set of double doors.
And how big is this round room? Are we talking the whole width of the tower still? Or are we
We're talking
one of the
about
small towers?
about half the width of the tower.
Okay, yeah, so gone into one of the smaller towers on top.
Stairs, double doors.
So you come out. There's got the door here. You've got the big table here.
Yep.
You've got a pair of double doors here, and you got some stairs that go up either side of it.
Cool. Okay, got it.
It's not described well.
Yeah, I'm having trouble visualizing.
And presumably those double doors, if we were to open them, they would be likely to lead out onto the roof of the base of the tower that we came through. Is that
You
right?
believe so? Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Not that there's any windows on this level.
Okay.
I just want to point out whoever designed this tower, maybe not.
Needs.
That's tight. Well, then again, if it's all magically lit, do they really need the light?
No.
I will carefully go towards the chest that is in the room that you described.
Okay.
I would like to investigate the chest before I touch it. I do not touch it.
It is a large chest.
Yep.
It does not seem to have a lock on it. Has a latch without a lock.
Very suspicious.
Latch is made out of metal.
Check for. Ask our specialist to check for traps first.
I'm gonna point this out to Drachnia, and I'll be like, "Hey,
He was starting to go for the stairwell again to keep going up on the idea of the, hey, we're not here to loot. He was going to keep going forward, but
wasn't, and I might be confused here because I'm having a lot of trouble visualizing this, but at the top of the next set of stairs, I'm pretty sure there was double doors which we theorised led out onto the roof, which would be where all the guards are.
doors are downstairs. Go up."
So the set of stairs go above the doors. So
Okay, alright, yep. As I said,
I'm just thinking, where do you keep coins? In a chest. This is a chest. It's not locked, so that seems suspicious.
Yes.
so you're thinking key coin, not money coin.
Yes.
Yes.
well, yeah, I'm happy to take a look at the chest and see if we can find any evidence of reasons not to open it. So, natural 20.
the latch is made out of metal.
Yeah, that's a good reason not to touch it.
He asked for a reason.
He will decide that it's apparently not trapped, though, I'm guessing.
He doesn't feel it's trapped.
Aside from being trapped with metal, he'll use the handle of his tomahawk to just flip the latch and then lift the lid.
Inside you see lots of metal.
As in coins?
Not coin key size metal.
Not coin size metal.
Just random bits of metal?
So do you keep lifting?
Well, I'll open it. And
Okay.
see what's in
So
there.
opening it up, you find silver plates, silver knives and spoons and forks, crystal glassware, silk napkins and tablecloths, candles with silver candelabra, silver pipes and tobacco pouches.
So obviously, even though they're brilliant at designing walls and pretty round rooms, they have no idea how to make a cabinet in which to put their dishes, so they've just picked a box.
Yeah, rather than displaying.
But take a look around the room again at the table. When I first came up, I was assuming it was a meeting room type stuff, but does it look like it's also like a mess hall?
Yeah, he said there was food.
It does look like a mess hall, especially with the big horn on the table.
Yeah.
The horn itself looks to be probably about 3 foot in length.
Yeah.
Dang, cool.
I interpreted that as being the typical munchies you have during the meeting.
With
your bowl of sweets that you put in the middle to keep people awake during the meeting.
so with Drachnia opening it up, I'll just take a look, kind of move my head around, see nothing in there. I was like, nah, this is good, let's not touch it.
It's all nice and neatly laid out in there.
Very fancy.
You can be evil and organised.
Not particularly fancy, just well made. So, the plain looking that you wouldn't notice except for the fact that it's made out of silver and crystal.
I'm pointing out it's fancy because it's organized. That's the reason it's fancy.
Mhm.
I'm pretty sure to Lani, anything that's organised looks fancy.
Exactly. That's why I'm just like, they got this ship shape. This is great. Good job.
Let's go.
That's it. Let's keep on going. So I guess kind of looking at everybody else to be like, we go up, or do you wanna?
I'm pretty sure.
I don't think it's worth going up at this point. So,
Wants to go up, so I'm happy to go up.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay.
Presuming we don't notice anything else strange.
there were no windows on this level.
Yeah,
There were no windows.
it's just a place for having foods.
It was one of those weird point out things. Okay, so as you come up to this level as well, let's see, the description of it is a colourful indoor garden grows in this semicircular room. This room is about half the width of the one you were in previously, with a wall going across half of that again. So
the tower is narrowing as it goes up.
it's narrowing as it goes up. So a colourful indoor garden grows in this semicircular room. Large windows are regularly spaced in the curved wall on the south. 2 doors open onto the opposite side. A low pedestal in the west of the room rises above the flower bed of small blue and purple flowers. Nearby, a statue of a young female elf stands in the middle of the fountain.
Still no one moving around here though?
No one moving around here at the moment that you can tell.
I feel like we should come across a room with 3 beds in it, and maybe a kitchen with 3 bowls full of porridge.
You've already gone past the college hall.
Yeah, that's true.
You didn't have any porridge.
We need to try
Obviously,
and
the
time
bears
it
have been
while,
and gone.
we need to try and time it while the master was away, but I was expecting there might be a few orcs and other creatures that were manning the camp could also be here.
It's interesting that if they are orcs and things, that they are so very neat and organised, but that could be more the person controlling them than them being themselves.
Considering there was no fires seen, you would expect there'd be no orcs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because you find it very difficult to believe that they would travel without burning something.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
And there's apparently the guards out on the towers, but they weren't. They usually didn't move like orcs. Exactly. It's going to actually sticking towards one wall. It's going to keep going around to the straight wall of the hemisphere.
Yep.
And take a look at the doors that were in there.
Okay, so there are 2 doors. One's a single and one's a double. Which one do you want to look at?
Is the single closer to the wall?
The single is closer to the wall.
Okay, yeah, we'll go down that wall and we'll look at the single first.
Okay. Looking at the door, this one doesn't appear to be locked.
Okay. Can I hear anything on the other side? With a I didn't get the 20 this time, I got 2 for another 12.
No, you don't hear anything on the other side of this door.
Okay.
These things are so stealthy that you're just not hearing anything.
That's good, yeah, absolutely. And I will see if I can find any traps, 19.
You fail to find any traps.
Okay, I will then check to see if he's actually unlocked.
It is unlocked. There is no creak as the door opens.
Okay, what am I looking through when I open a bit of a crack to see through?
You're looking at another set of stairs going up.
Okay. I will leave the door ajar, and if others haven't gone there yet, I'll be looking at the double doors.
Okay.
Sorry, what was this inside the...
Stairs going up.
Okay, yep.
Okay, while he's doing that, could everyone else give me a perception roll?
I was going to ask if I could see anything else while he was there, but, now I don't have to.
10.
The statue's interesting.
Pretty
detailed.
Yeah. Passive perception 21. I didn't even think about it. I just saw the thing.
Well, my roll gets me 19, but my passive is 17. So.
Okay, so
no.
Luell points
Yeah,
out a
okay.
secret door on the wall,
Kind of thing.
but you also assume that the statue is a petrified person.
I will point this out.
Seems to be wearing one of the clan regalia for one of the other elven clans of Elfheim.
Yeah. And we're too low level to have and none of us have the spell to break a petrification.
Not these characters.
No.
Sorry, sneeze.
Oh, good.
No, we'd need access to 5th level spells. From memory.
I believe so.
Yep.
So the secret door.
Same level as
Who's going to investigate it?
Me again.
Yep.
So Luell gets to make an investigation roll.
I will do that. I will approach it and use my passive investigation because it's probably going to end up better. Because I don't have it trained. My passive is 18.
Your passive is 18. Okay, so as you look at it, you realize that it just the wall itself is illusionary and opens up onto the outside.
Ooh.
Is there a step on the other side?
Well, that you can see.
I'm not going to walk straight through there.
No.
I put my hand through it and say, it's illusionary.
Do you put it all the way through though?
Yeah.
Okay.
I put my left hand in.
So
My left
you
hand
actually see
in.
anything outside?
I pick my left hand up, put it back on again.
The other thing I was worried about is if that wall is illusion, is there something also hidden on the other side, or can we just tell
It opens to the outside.
it just opens to the outside?
You can feel the wind when you put your hand in.
Yeah. I can smell the outside. In fact, if I put my hand through, is there sunlight?
Do you see anything on the outside?
I can feel
Do you-
sun on my hand.
Do you see anything on the other side though?
I put my head through. Yep.
Yep, you can see outside.
What's out
So
there?
you just see the
You're halfway up the tower.
Okay.
Well, part way up the tower.
So is this like a balcony?
This
There's
is
no
not a-
balcony at all.
No, this
Well-
is just a doorway,
Okay.
and we're halfway up the tower.
So
And
it
it's a
could be
long way
way
down. I'm not.
And while you're doing this, I will give
Could
you
be like a wide
perception roll of
landing place
advantage.
maybe or something.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, what?
Because he's looking outside at the moment, so he has a good chance of seeing something he hadn't seen before.
Yeah.
Yes. Ooh, nice. 23.
Okay, as you're looking out there, you see a couple of suits of armor gliding across the one of the towers nearby.
So they're not people.
From one tower to another.
Yes.
They're
I
animated armor.
Tell
I'm
them
guessing.
that there's
Or
2
golems.
suits of armor floating from one tower to another.
And they don't seem to be walking, they're just
They just float.
floating along. Which would make it very hard to hear them.
Could be that
Yeah.
this guy doesn't actually have any people with him. It's just all magic.
Which is why there's no lights.
Yeah.
But yes, if they're levitating or flying, probably levitating armor, whether there's people in them or not, yeah, it's a bit hard to hear unless they sort of flail their arms.
How many times did we notice when we were watching the tower from the side?
You probably thought you saw at least 10 to 20.
Okay. And you've only seen 2 now, or is it because there was only seen 2 across floating across from one tower to the next?
He just witnessed 2 float across from one tower to the next.
Yeah.
Can you see others down on the top of the tower?
I will look
Yeah,
around.
you can see others.
Yep.
They're all sort of moving in a pattern.
Right. I will note this. In fact, if you want to investigate the pattern yourself, stick your head out.
I think
Don't step out.
Jack has actually been concentrating on the other doors at the present time, so I'm assuming this is happening while he's doing that. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Actually, if there's a lot of these guys around, I'm going to pull my head back in through the door, because they might see me.
Okay, so while you're doing that,
'Cause
Jeremy,
I'm gonna be noticed.
you're at the set of double doors.
Yep.
And as you go up to investigate them, they open inwards.
Okay, that makes it easy to work out whether I can open them, I guess.
And you see an oblong room containing a large desk and chair sitting on a thick bear fur which covers most of the floor. Flanking the desk, 2 large chandeliers light up as you enter, and a large closet stands against the opposite wall.
I will take a look at the, basically, a look around the room, not specifically trying to go to the closet or the desk type stuff, but basically taking a look around to see what else might be in here, and the basically confirm that, yep, okay, it is being office.
And there's a lot of papers sitting on top of the desk, and there are drawers in the desk.
Okay, I will have a glance at the papers on the desk. I'm thinking that's going to be more something that Clue is going to be more interested in, but do I see anything immediate when I look at the papers?
It seems to be details about the encampments, how to set them up, the number of them, where they're located, and about a plan to gather them into 2 different forces, one to the north of the forest and one to the south of the forest, and then basically sweep through the forest, killing everything in the path.
Wow.
Okay, well,
with the indication of yesterday's date on the paperwork.
okay. I will read this bit out.
So basically, we're in line with him leaving when he left the expo, is that right?
That is
No, he left early today, didn't he?
He did, yes.
We came in a couple hours.
But he sent his troops out first. They may not have necessarily done much yet, but
It sort of expects that it's got about 2 to 3 weeks before everything's in place.
Yeah, makes sense.
cool.
It's not a Russian do this, it's a set yourselves up.
Yeah.
Here's how you do it.
Yeah.
And then on this date,
Get yourself prepped.
Yeah, do this.
Right.
Yeah.
I'd probably say they would wait until the next full moon and then march north and south. So that
Okay.
would give you
But
16, 17 days.
yeah, but we have
No.
troop types, troop numbers, locations.
And a note down that there's some mailing individuals in the forest who have taken out one of the garrisons.
Yes. So we can organise to take each of those camps out.
It's recommending casting Meteor Swarm on that group.
He's going to say, is there any...
That's right. Do medium swarm on them first.
Is there much description on exactly who it was that took out the campsite?
Something about another group of troublesome elves.
Ah,
Right.
Well, there was.
So it doesn't need to be a man, of course.
they
That does not mention the griffins at all.
Griffin's saying.
At least they're 40% right.
Yeah, sort of. They also
I
didn't
mean,
do
really,
anything else because it's sort of 2 elves and some beasts from their point of view,
and you did go in and introduce yourself and talk to him.
and that's a good thing. Yeah.
Cool.
Well, yeah, it probably also have all your names listed as well.
What?
All the names you gave the other guy.
You didn't chat to him.
The only person's name who's not there is the tribesman.
Makes sense. Let me see if I can get them by name.
Everyone did, I asked.
Yes.
They were all nice and polite.
Yes. I want to be able to do this particular spell as a tall, thin slab, not a cube. Eldritch Cube summons a black, non-reflective, incorporeal cube that deals psychic damage to creatures that touch it. It's for filling doorways. But I want to do it as a sort of a tall slab, because of course you do. Still fills the doorway.
Go, Jeremy.
I'm saying that, yes, well, whilst Clue's taking a look through the papers, I will go and take a look up the next set of stairs.
Okay.
or at least I'll start going that way and confirm something that come down, and we're ready to check it out as soon as he's ready.
Okay. Did you point out to Dracomir that the suits of armor float?
I did mention that they were floating.
I just asked him if his character actually paid attention.
Well, that's up to him. But I did say they were floating. That's why they're silent. As long as they don't wave their
I'll
arms
take the
around.
opportunity then while he's looking at papers to poke my head through the illusionary wall and observe these suits of armor.
Okay, give me a perception roll while you do so. And what does Llewell do about the drawers of the desk?
29.
Go through them. See what's in there.
As you open the drawer, you hear a pop. Give me a reflex dexterity saving throw.
Whee!
Fun times.
Which, because of my armor, I get a bonus on.
If I'm
Oh,
still,
sorry, I get a.
if I'm still in garden and
Advantage.
not in the office, do I get it?
Well, let's see if it does anything first.
Okay.
15.
15. Okay. So you pull your finger out with this little thing stuck in it as Lani looks over at you.
Oh, whoops.
Now you get to make a fortitude saving throw.
And it's not something I've got to. Yeah, I'm going to fall over.
And you sort of see him just start and start snoring.
I'll go in there and
Something which is quite hilarious that an elf was put to sleep.
I was gonna say I was so asleep. That is the first time
Yeah,
I've seen
Because it's not a spell.
It's
I've
not a
seen-
spell, which means I'm not immune to it.
It's I've seen
Poison.
I've seen him sleep, unfortunately, but I haven't seen him snore. This is
No.
interesting. Never seen an elf snore before.
Yeah, well, when I was actually asleep, I wasn't like this.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So does he still have a thing
Yep.
on his finger?
He didn't have a chance to pull it out. It's like, what?
I'll go ahead and try to pull it out.
Mhm.
What kind of roll could I make?
Make a strength roll.
Strength roll. Okay. Thankfully I have good strength. 17.
Pop comes out no problems, barbs and all, and no twitch from him. So obviously it wasn't that painful.
I'll try to
I'm hoping it's
rouse
less
him
painful.
a bit as he
You poke him, he just keeps snoring.
keeps
Yeah.
going. I was
By
like,
the way, if you want to be rude, put one of those trap needles in and make it barbed. Take
was-
it out. Oh, there goes it.
what do I have
Yeah,
that
unless you make a
smell?
surgery
I
roll.
need
Yes.
this one to make a stink bomb or something smelling salts to wake this one up. So whenever Anna gets back, if she can make a stink bomb to wake up Will, that would be great.
Well, you've heard of people who perform certain medicine on people, requiring to knock them out so they don't feel it.
Yeah.
You have a feeling he's being knocked out so he doesn't feel it. So you give him the best smelling salt in the world, it probably won't
Not
wake him
gonna
up.
work. Ah, darn. Oh wow.
But you could drag him around the tower until he wakes up. You visited all these wonderful places. Let me tell you about them.
No.
As Dracomir,
I'll take a look out the illusionary door and have 29 on perception.
looking outside, you do notice that they seem to be moving at the same height between all the towers when they do move, and they seem to be doing a set patrol. You will see the same set of armor. Each armor seems to be unique, doing a very basic pattern.
And each got their own individual pattern.
Each armor has their own individual pattern.
Okay, so it's not a case of they're all following each other throughout the entire complex.
And you can tell the armor apart, the equivalent of someone who's, marked cards.
Yeah.
It's little subtle markings on the armor.
Okay.
Dents,
The
and stuff.
armor is, I'm assuming, metallic. Is it we're talking a full plate, a sort of full plate type effect, or?
Sort of full plate. Looks very pretty close to modern elven. What you expect knights on horseback to wear.
Okay.
You know,
So-
shock trooper style armor.
Ah,
So not
Right.
what we would expect from this.
Weapons?
So it's cuirass
Future.
or which is basically plate chest with mail.
And they do have
Like
swords, but the swords are not drawn. And most of them have them over the back, where a couple have twin swords on the side.
Mm-hmm.
Any bows or additional weapons at all?
You do notice that they all seem to have crossbows,
Crossbows, okay.
I'm presuming
but
Not held,
but
just-
none of them have any quivers.
magic crossbows.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um,
Or they're set up to have one shot, then they charge you.
Or
Mm.
magical
Yeah,
something.
that's also true.
Something.
And the bits where they come out of the towers looks almost identical to the tower you've got your head out of.
Mm.
Oh, so it looks like they're coming out of invisible walls in the tower?
Mm.
Cool.
So,
Which Llewellyn missed at the time.
on the
Can't see everything.
ground, like on the top of the base of the tower, we're like on the ground level one from our perspective right now.
Yep.
You're saying they all levitate at the same height above the floor, is that right?
So as if you were walking, and imagine you didn't have boots, they're moving at that height.
Okay, so only an inch or so across the ground.
Yep. And then some of them travel at as if they came out of the same like 10 feet up or 20 feet up or 30 feet up and go across at the same height from tower to tower.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to actually kneel down on the ground, like inside the tower,
Mm.
and just put the hand out and take a feel out through the illusion wall.
You can feel a solid surface that you can't see.
Yeah.
Right.
That's interesting.
And I'll stretch the hand out a little bit just to confirm that it's not just a ledge, that it needs to go the full arm width at least.
It does, and while you can press against it, it doesn't leave any marks behind.
Right.
It's not glass. It's not.
See through. It's.
It doesn't appear to be physical.
Mm.
I was going to say, like, I can't feel brickwork or anything like that.
It has no texture to it.
Right, okay, so it's not like it's just an invisible archway between them. It's actually some sort of force archway.
It does strike you as the equivalent of wall of force.
Yeah, okay.
Is that a
Um,
magic thing?
So it's basically solid magic that's clear.
Mhm.
So you can fly into it and pretty much hurt yourself.
Yeah.
Mm.
In fact, actually, yeah, just
Familiar with
putting the hand out on the, like just at the edge of the illusory wall,
Mhm.
and I'm trying to find the edge of the pathway. It's actually,
It does have a edge of the pathway, and it is pointed.
Is it-
does it have a side?
Meaning, so if it goes across like that,
Yeah.
the path goes in like that. So
Oh,
basically,
okay.
if you come at it at speed, it just pretty much separates you.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Mm.
It's designed as a weapon as well as a convenience.
Okay, so it does have thickness, but the edge is actually kind of sharp and thin.
Yeah,
Okay?
that's
Okay.
correct.
And testing across, just a hand with the point of my fingers poking out of the illusory wall, so it's not very obvious.
Mhm.
Just confirming how wide the path is.
Width-wise, it appears to be about 10 foot wide,
Which is about the size of the illusory wall.
same size as the wall,
Yeah, okay.
with the wall centered right in the middle of it. So there's probably about a hand's width either side that is just wall.
Mm.
Okay. Am I looking directly at another tower?
You are looking directly at another tower.
Okay. And how far away is that tower?
One of those things that would be great.
I'm happy with it. It's like 10 feet, 30 feet, 70 feet.
I'm just trying to match up the towers, so I'd probably say it would be 20 feet because it's very hard to tell with the way they've done their scales.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I'm happy that it's within effectively our movement.
So that gives you some idea of what I've got to go.
Oh god, that's
Very confusing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So I've been doing my best to navigate it without having you
Right.
look at it and map it.
So it's less
No,
your
I've
descriptions
been trying
making
it.
it hard to visualise. Yeah, I had to go, but yeah, I gave up.
but yeah, no, from
Yeah,
my
no.
perspective, it's the idea of yes, okay, if we decided we needed to try and rush, we might be able to stay within the centre of the 10-foot wide passage
Yep.
without falling off the edge before we actually run out and get to the other side. So,
But you don't think you could throw stones on it with the stones staying in place?
Mm.
no, but I'm talking about the fact that
The old Last Crusade thing.
yeah, but the fact that it's only 20 feet or so across, it
Means
means
it's
that
very
it wouldn't
easy.
be that hard to actually. It's not like you're going out several hundred feet thinking, hang on, have I gone a bit left yet or not?
Step, fall.
I guess I did go a bit left.
It'd be good time to have the Willem scream on like a.
Yeah.
I've got it available.
Yeah.
Um,
We do?
okay.
So I would,
Well, it's easy enough to
just like
get it.
to
It's
Yeah.
on YouTube.
point out to
Yeah.
people, I'm just like, you guys,
But he's
we
got
have
the
a
special
sleepy
effects.
elf,
We
and
do.
that's a problem because elves don't sleep.
There's
He
snoring
Which
noises.
elf haven't we seen?
he got a poison,
Alright.
and now he's asleep.
Okay.
I pulled the poison out, but he's still asleep.
There we are.
Okay.
Wilhelm scream.
Yeah.
Which has been so far in every Star Wars movie.
Oh yeah. And some places
And so
honour
others.
it by making
Oh,
sure it's
yeah.
in.
Well, that was the thing. It was used in all of the original 3 movies, and they've kept it for all the other ones. And
Yeah.
because it's the same audio guy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it
Is
stands out.
in charge of all of them.
It's fantastic.
Yes.
Okay,
So
so
just backtracking.
Yep.
So where is Lowell right now?
Luel is currently projecting his location with the sounds of snoring.
So we can't see him.
And
I'm right next to him.
and Lani's pretty much carrying him.
Yeah.
Okay, and
I was next to
you've withdrawn the poison.
I took the poison dart thingy out, but he's still asleep.
Well, does that mean the poison might still be in him?
It's very much like very powerful and steady.
I don't have any.
I
Magic
suggested
potions or anything like that to
possibly a
heal?
smelling salt or stink bomb, but
I could probably do a stink bomb. Smelling salt.
You can try.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
give that a try. Would I put that under magical tinkering, or would I put that under something like Flash of Genius?
Flash of Genius will try.
Okay, try
I
that.
suggest-
Do I
It's
roll?
not actually a stink bomb.
Well,
We don't necessarily need to actually.
I'm going
Oh,
for the.
it's a stink bottle.
I'm going for the concept of a stink bomb, but as
Yes.
smelling salt.
Yeah, this
So-
one's it's a stink bomb with an area of effect of 1 inch.
It's not gonna make him pass out again. It would kind of defeat the purpose. But he might not like the smell, considering
if-
he's a pretty boy.
If I end up coughing and having my eyes water, but I'm awake, I'm fine with that.
Basically, you're going to create the stink bomb in effectively a glass flask or something, but rather than throwing it, you're going to open the top to allow him to actually get the sniff.
Yeah, as
Yeah,
I said, a
yeah.
stink bottle.
Yeah. With the
I love the idea of cultural level.
Flesh of Genius,
Mm-hmm.
Boomerang.
would I roll a 20? A D20?
Can I have a quick look at it?
That's the Flesh of Genius. There might be one
Flash
more
of Genius.
appropriate further down. I need to go back to my optometrist to sell me yet another pair of glasses, but these ones do like close up. Those ones I can kind of see.
Okay, so you can help someone else come up with a solution. That's what Flash of Genius does.
Okay, right,
Okay.
alright.
So if someone else has a issue, what you can do is then add your you can use your reaction to add your intelligence modifier to their roll on top of their normal roll.
Yes, so I'm looking for the one that allows me to pull up potions quickly.
Okay.
While she's thinking of preparing options for that sort of stuff,
Yep.
I'll just say, Dracula was doing his search outside and then saying, what's taking these guys so long? He'll come back and look through the double doors and find the problem, or
Yep.
if Liney's already carried him out into the original, this is the garden room, wasn't it?
Yeah, Lonnie's carried him out and has got the poison dart.
Yeah. I will say, have a look here. Does it look like something that lesser restoration might counter?
Ooh.
Quite possibly. Let me have a quick look.
So, option? No?
I do have cure wounds.
I don't know if humans would do
I
that.
don't think Q would do it, but I'm just wondering if lesser restoration might.
Yeah.
Only if it's done stat damage. You need.
No, because I think this one is more.
Okay, so
Please.
yes,
Sure.
it can.
Hmm?
Yes, it can.
So this one.
Oh, that's right. It will too,
Because a
it will-
creature can be blinded, deafened, paralyzed, or poisoned.
If there's any status effect, yes, and
So
poison is
it's
one. So yes, it will work.
Yes.
Okay.
Please.
And the sleep is a poison effect.
Yes.
So have we
Yes.
figured out how to fix
Yes.
it?
Very
Yeah.
quickly.
Dracula will cast lesser restoration on him.
Okay.
Yes.
That
So
works.
you've got me awake.
Llewell
You've
wakes
got
up
me
to the
unpoisoned.
sound of drums.
No bad thing.
I think so. I might be meeting Atruaghin, maybe.
Well,
That's what happened last time.
It could potentially be part of casting my spell.
Yes.
Oh, right.
Yes, it
yeah,
would be.
yeah. Yep. So does he come out with a headdress?
No.
Oh. Worth asking.
But he doesn't seem sleepy anymore.
But you
I
might
think-
notice that during the spell casting, Dracula appears to take on some more draconic type features.
Ah.
Imagining the shamanic mask in Shadowrun.
Yes. And yes, so you
Yep.
get scaly while you're casting.
Mm.
Yes, I'll note by the way, on the headdress thing, as part of my background stuff that I'm doing with the new book, part of it is the item or memento, and it turns out to be an excessively fashionable and exceedingly large hat.
Yeah, that works.
So I've got a headdress
So,
with a feather in it.
you'll, yeah.
Oh, it's a very fancy hat.
What would be interesting would be that if he did effectively seem to take on any of the draconic type features, is the fact that whether or not you noticed that previously he would have taken on more deer/elk-like features.
Yes.
Admittedly, he certainly doesn't cast spells very often, so
No.
particularly not in the style of more
I was gonna
ritualistic
say,
I think
things.
Lani would be the one who potentially picked that
Yeah.
up. I'll give her a perception roll.
Because I don't think I've seen
It's cocked. Can I roll?
You can roll again.
him cast any kind of spells since I've been with the party. Nothing. Nothing
Well,
also down.
You don't really notice any difference.
I'm just like, he's being him. I'm like, oh,
He's casting spells, so you're picking out other things.
that's cool.
So Lua's now awake.
Lua's
with a
now
swirl on 50 espressos.
To be fair, Lonnie assumes most people can do magic. Lonnie just chooses not to study magic. She's more about the hitty, stab.
Well,
You're
where's
a
the
magic
bunny
trainer.
life without
You
it?
do magic.
I have magic training. That's as much magic as I do. It's like, that's as much as I need to do. It stabs.
You gotta pick up some mud levels too. Keep people at
Much like Amplified and the Magic Helmet.
Oh dear. Alright, so we have a conscious Lua.
You do feel a little drowsy. You've not actually felt that tired since you were in the other world.
But yes. But I'm awake.
You are.
And I don't feel bad.
It doesn't take you a moment. It just takes you a moment to shake it off. But it's the first time you've actually felt tired in this world.
You're not bouncing off the walls.
I didn't get you to check the desk before I opened the drawer. I say looking very contrite. Could you please check the rest of the drawers? Because I want to see what's in there.
Yeah.
Please.
What was
Yeah.
particular habit?
Right. Yes, I know.
25 on deception for looking at the drawers.
You find the obvious poison needle trapped to you anyway.
Yeah.
Apparently there'll be some right over it.
Yeah. It was carefully placed to be in that obvious location where people will do it. And so anyone who wouldn't normally know knows to open the drawer from the side. You don't use the handles.
Yes.
And is there any evidence of the other drawers being trapped, or is only one drawer in there?
The other drawer didn't seem to have any trap on it, but the one with the trap seemed to have a really intricate quill and a ink pot with shimmering liquid.
That could be handy.
Magical writing stuffs.
Like,
Is it
Can
actually magical?
Can we keep kicking upstairs now?
It's just the table.
I'm guessing that would be
And
something
the
you
table.
might pocket. Yeah.
We would take that.
Yeah.
Okay, so
The table's going to be a bit hard.
Yeah. Well,
As is the cupboard.
it depends on.
Yes.
So,
I was going to say, yes, it's not something that Jack Nino's interested in, but I
No.
expect that Claw's taken it.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So that would be an item.
So we finished in this room?
I suppose.
So, okay, Jack Nino's already aiming to say, can we go up the stairs now and keep
Yeah,
looking to
sure.
see if we...
Well, we've at least got one of our elves back, even if the other one hasn't turned up, so... I figured if we left without the other elf, we might find ourselves in trouble, considering most people in these lands would kill us without an elf.
Okay, so you head upstairs and find yourself in a the outside circle of this level with an inner wall that's also circular. And as you're walking around, you notice that there are lavish elven paintings on the walls, pottery and sculpture. Some of them extremely realistic.
So are they more petrified?
Some more
things?
petrified people, yes.
How do you petrify something?
You-
Magic, obviously.
Yeah.
Basilisks work well.
Basilisks do the job. Yeah,
yeah.
wave a basilisk at somebody and
Can
they'll...
you cure that?
Yes.
Like make them come alive?
Depends on what you do to them after you've done that.
Yes.
Obviously, if you remove an arm or a leg, it probably won't turn out well.
No, it won't. There was a very nasty... This is in a written module. There was a very, very nasty, very, very evil Medusa
Yeah.
who would capture anyone who tried to kill her, and she'd turn them to stone.
As you would.
What she did that was particularly evil was she had them all in rows in her, and there were hundreds of them. What she'd done is taken their heads off and
Yeah.
switched them around.
Yep.
So you do remove curse or stone to flesh or greater restoration.
And you have a bearded
and
woman.
you've now got you've got a dead body with a stone head.
Oh,
Because
okay.
it doesn't turn the head that doesn't belong to the
Because
body
it's-
back.
yes.
Oh, okay.
You've got to have the body whole.
Or,
It does
they
sound
touch the head and
particularly
only
ugly.
the head changes.
Now,
And
fortunately,
horrible.
if you've got people who know what they're doing, you go, let's go and figure out the things from
Yeah.
the
Let's switch
actual
all the
text.
heads.
Do make whole, because while they're stone, they're an object,
Yeah.
and you can repair them. And then you
Okay, so back
Yeah.
back to the room.
get them on.
And
One person
We
will
need to
die.
get back in this
You said
module.
you said circular promenade rather than room, didn't you?
Yes, it
So it's
is.
actually it's a corridor rather than a
Yeah.
space.
It is.
Is that right?
That is correct.
And
And it's a circular with you find stairs at the other side.
okay, so we're going to go right around the circle and we'll get to the base of the next stairs. Is that what you're saying?
Very much so, yes.
Okay, well, I'm not especially interested in elvish artistry, so I will be aiming to move on moderately rapidly around the corridor.
I will give Dracoma a perception roll as he goes past.
Natural one.
Natural one.
Total 11.
Okay, he just looks the other way as he passes all
Yeah.
this artwork about dragons as he
Yeah.
goes past.
Cool. I guess.
Is that a missed
Can we-
learning opportunity?
You might get on the way down.
Do all of us Need
just-
to.
Everyone else can have a, if they're looking.
I expect that at least the elves in the party probably have to issue some of the artwork.
I got 11. So
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh,
It's a
neat.
perception,
Nice,
isn't
huh?
it? So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
23.
Yeah, 21 passive perception.
Okay, so you're both enjoying the stuff as you go around, and then you both notice that one of the statues seems to be oddly placed. So before you can think of it, Duke just moves it slightly back into place where it's supposed to be, and a door opens.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah, I was
Nice.
trying to dodge. But,
Yeah.
okay.
I'm like, "Ah."
As you see, as the door pops open, you see a room full of books.
Oh. Books are always nice.
What appears to be a secret library.
Every building, if you can manage it, needs to have a secret
Of
I was
course
gonna
it
say,
does.
you don't have a proper castle unless you have a
I
secret library.
I'm
And
tempted
you
to clear out
see
one of my built-in
The
robes
room
and
is
just
occupied
shelves
by
in
a
it.
round table surrounded by bookshelves
I steal
with
the
two
one.
comfortable velvet chairs with one book open on the table.
Look at the book on the table.
It is simple exercises to help you solve problems.
Okay.
I still take note because, you know,
This is a
Yeah.
math book.
Well,
What did you say?
This is
It's a book that says simple exercises to help you solve problems.
so
yes.
it's kind of like
This sounds
magic for dummies.
I was
On
gonna
the other
say-
hand, it could be tactics.
Yeah.
And the first page says, send your minions out.
Yeah.
Don't do anything yourself that you could pay mindless minions to do.
Oh
Yes.
no, not pay.
Persuade.
Persuade.
Yes.
Intimidate.
More money.
Compel.
Compel.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, lieutenants are paid. Minions are not.
Okay.
Yes.
So you read through that book?
I will have a look through part of it. Yeah,
Okay, give
flick
me a
through.
will saving throw.
I'm assuming that
Natural 20.
Okay, so you end up spending about 10 minutes reading through that book and find yourself a little bit smarter.
That's what happens when
Is
you
it a
read
long-term
Okay.
smarter or?
You're in, so what's your intelligence at the moment?
14, I think.
So it's now 16.
books. Oh.
Is that like a permanent?
It's a, yeah, one of the stat
Oh.
bonusy things.
So it was a simple
Sorry?
exercises of helping you solve problems.
Do I?
Sorry, it's 16. Now goes to 18.
It goes to 18, yes.
So if I was also, because I said I'm taking notes.
It may be
and stuff.
one shot.
And you look at it and the pages fade.
Oh, okay. So it doesn't work for
Mm.
non-elving people.
No, it works for the first one to read it.
Oh, okay. So I
And
wasn't-
it's normally a certain
That's
amount of time.
Yeah, I
you
think
were too busy taking notes. You weren't actually getting reading. You got ahead of you in the reading.
yeah, it'd be interesting if my notes then had some sort of magical payoff, but I'm
That'd be
good.
nice.
I'm good.
I'm assuming that with my natural animal section that I basically gone around the stairs and not actually noticed that the others didn't follow.
Yep,
Yes.
you managed to walk up to the next level and find yourself in a strange misty corridor that is crowded with furniture and trunks. The shutters on the windows are tightly closed, keeping the area dark. At the other end, you see 4 eyes glowing in an obscure passage.
Okay.
So it was a magic
My mental stats are ridiculous.
feather pen, wasn't it?
It was a magic quill
Yep.
and
inkpot.
inkpot.
Is that the only thing we've picked up so far?
Mhm. I believe it's the only thing you picked up besides the headdress that
Yeah, I've written the
Drakenmark does.
headdress in here. And the fish scale purse of Turtle Clan origin.
No, you already had that. That's something you had for years.
Yeah, but I still stuck it in there just because.
remembered he had it.
Yeah, you know, if we ever have to go through our items for something, we know it's there.
But yes, as far as we have carried that for years, I'm pretty certain it's not magical at all. It's just that it's a nice ancient design made from non-metallic that gives that sort of I'm picturing kind of the silver lame type appearance purse.
Yeah. But I presume just because it's not magic doesn't mean it's not an item. You can have non-magic swords
can
and
have-
things like that.
It's certainly something that the giant group, the head of the year, the giant group and Headdress have all been carrying.
Yeah.
Because it's an item that you people from ancient times.
Okay, so Lowell believes that the library he's standing in is basically something on extending life after death, immortality, that sort of thing.
Go around the titles and
It's basically stuff about things that no longer exist. Most of these books have, as far as history is concerned, has been destroyed or lost.
Does it say anything about saving trees of life?
Very few of these books are in Elvish.
Oh, okay,
yeah,
so...
that's right. I can read anything. But yeah, usefully using it. Yeah, that's
I think at this point I would follow Dracnia.
Okay.
So I'll be
Yeah.
with him.
So you find yourself.
Sorry, but is it life extension or is it necromancy? Or
Bit of A, bit of B.
Okay, it's a research library for turning yourself into a lich.
You wouldn't expect to be turning yourself into a lich. That would be almost a different sort of process.
Yeah.
This is not about making undead. It's about continued life,
Not dying.
Yes.
or not staying dead.
Yeah.
But not being undead.
No.
Not being undead. Yes.
Would that be the equivalent of resurrected-ish?
Yeah.
Or someone who just prepared contingencies just in case.
Yes. Yes. There are a few people in various of the novels who have layered contingency spells on them to.
Alright, so they're up at the thing. Do we notice anything else around the library?
Just a wealth of books. You probably value this library at around 50,000 gold.
I was gonna say probably.
Well, interesting.
priceless.
I can't carry all these books, I'm presuming.
Not easily.
So I will run up and chase up Lani and
I'm going to presume it's too.
Drachnimar.
They take up too much space for me to put in my robe bag.
They would. Plus, your robe bag might not give these ones back. Because they're not magical.
Yeah, there is that.
And they're organic.
Yeah. He would take them as a present.
I can tell you from experience, even a canvas bag, duffel bag, filled with 150 books is pretty hard to lift.
Oh, yeah. No, but
And it had wheels.
They're both as bad
this
as
is
each
just the
other.
bag of holding.
Yeah.
It
No.
eats things.
Yes, no, I understand that.
Yeah.
But I meant
Okay.
if you were to consider physically taking them.
So,
I wouldn't do that.
Anyway, get
So
distracted.
the two of you quickly follow Lani up the
I'll catch him up.
stairs, realizing that you can't do much as you see Drachma doing a will saving throw.
A will saving throw. Okay.
Kind of glad I'm having to catch up.
18 plus.
That's
I
funny.
suspect
That
should be
dice that
good.
went into the jail.
We're talking wisdom.
Wisdom, yes, wisdom.
22.
Okay, so you seem to be staring down a bunch of, or a pair of spectral hounds that appear to be waiting for you to move before they attack you.
Oh.
So you spent the last 10 minutes giving them a stare down while Lowell read a book on making him smarter.
Well, he might now know how to get around the spectral hounds, so this could play out well.
Oh,
How far away do they appear to be?
Easiest way to get around
About
spectral
20
hounds,
feet
be on the
from
other
you.
side of them.
So when you sort of slightly move, they seem to slightly move,
Except
and they stop when you
It's
stop.
very tense stare off.
'cause I'm wiser.
And a very unearthly growl in the background.
But hey, so I'm happy that my 10 minutes staring contest was enough to keep them quiet in that meantime anyway. But I couldn't make concentration enough to let others know that, hey, come up here.
Well, I think Lani's
And it didn't
Up
feel like
next
10
to you.
minutes.
Yeah, so now I'm next to him.
and I don't know how far behind I am. Just catching
Not
up.
that far behind.
And Lula's probably not far behind me.
No, I'm not.
But so I'm thinking that it probably didn't feel like 10 minutes for me because I was busy in the Battle of Wills making certain they stay quiet and to react or things like that. Mine has felt like 10 hours.
Yeah, there is that.
I'm sure, yeah.
So,
Okay.
but yes, you probably you get up the stairs and see me apparently staring into the mist, and you can probably see
The mist staring back.
There were 4 eyes apparently you can probably see glowing at the other end. So, but yes, he's obviously deep in concentration and won't necessarily have noted you arriving beside him at the present time because he hadn't necessarily registered you weren't beside him initially.
So what does Lani do, seeing Drakmir in deep concentration?
I'm hoping maybe not pull out her trident straight away, but you know.
No, I'll go ahead and try to stare, because I can see he's like this, so I'm going to stare where he's staring. Do I see the eyes?
Give me a wisdom saving throw.
Wisdom saving throw. No. I'm just go ahead and say no. 5.
Do you mean
Okay.
this game could end with all 4 of us staring entranced by a bunch of spectral dogs?
No, I'm not entranced. I'm holding
Oh,
the
you know what I mean.
So
At least I don't think I have.
you recognize a puppy, and then you suddenly get afraid of it as it's the worst thing in the world that you're currently looking at. It's the scariest thing you've ever seen as it's looking in your eyes as your head just starts going. "Ah!"
So I'm frightened.
As everyone hears Lani start screaming.
Is Lani actually screaming?
Yes.
Oh, can I throw something like a silence bomb at her?
Yeah, I'm the problem here. Sure.
Well,
So I'll be saying initiative at this stage.
clearly we've got to deal with something that's really scary because the Undying one is screaming, but I'm pretty sure I don't want anyone else to come.
You were just going to go for putting his hand over her mouth.
So I critically failed. There's another dice in the dice jail.
For my initiative, do I roll with disadvantage?
I would probably say yes with disadvantage because you are quite afraid at the moment.
With disadvantage, it's still a 14, but would I miss?
No. So what did you get?
Critical one.
A critical one.
So there's now 4 dice in the
So
dice
Duke
jail.
will miss his first move.
Absolutely.
So Duke is probably going.
Right.
So what about Llewell? And Drakmir.
13.
13 for Drakmir.
Initiative.
Yeah.
That good, huh?
I guess when you roll a critical one, it doesn't matter what your pluses are, does it?
Nope.
Well, no. If it's initiative, it's a number.
It's still like it means yes.
A 1 is not a critical fail.
Yeah, okay. But I don't add anything to that, do I?
It would be
You
your
will.
initiative.
You don't do initiative normally.
Which
I
is
normally, if you
dex-
roll a 1, you generally end
Yeah, I
up
was going
missing
to
the
say, I
first
think
turn.
Oh, yeah.
Mark-
You're probably still going to go last.
Dex mod.
Yes, if it's
Hold on.
equal to someone else.
Hold on. Dex modifier plus your proficiency modifier,
Yeah.
which is 3.
But that's okay.
Right.
I know that under Martin's home game,
Yeah. You just miss out.
I'm like 0 goes at the moment.
But you see, your dex modifier could make a modifier that someone else got a 1.
Mm?
You might be challenging for life, you see.
Which is always possible.
No, I got a total of 10. So I got a 1 in it. How about that?
I think the one with the additional 0 probably works in your
Maybe.
favour.
Okay, so as soon as Lani starts screaming, both hounds materialize and charge.
So they're not spectral anymore?
Oh, they are still spectral, but they're more solid than not. As the
Right.
first one leaps for Drakmir. Apparently, Drakmir has plot armor.
Right.
As the second one goes for
Best kind of
Lani.
armor there is.
It's infallible. It really is.
And would hit an armor class of 16.
Oh, that's my armor class.
That is your armor class?
Damn it.
You've been
Okay.
bitten.
It was so close.
I don't know. The puppy might just breathe, you know.
And you
fumes
take 5 points of psychic damage as your brain's on fire.
or- ouch.
As it goes right through your chest.
Oh.
Yep.
Okay, so that brings us to Lani's actually the first
I'm the
player
so,
up.
Pull it out.
I was gonna say they
as you watch
me.
the tail of the hound go through your chest.
Yep.
If you can.
She had Griffin speed.
Yeah.
Other than my trident right now. I need to look up.
Can you try to hit spectral things?
I can, but I think I have something that's better.
Yep.
Everything can hit spectral things, but there's a good chance you'll do less damage.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah. So I need to look up. Oh, is it this one? Looking at the sunlight. Is that in Player's Handbook? Or
It is in, should be in there as well, but I'll have a
Yeah.
quick look here. Always handy to have something I can quickly look up.
Yeah. Oh, it should be in here.
Because I can just scroll to S and click on it if I've got it in there.
Do you?
I don't think I have it done yet.
Okay. It's a work in progress.
It is a work in progress. Well, it's designed to be an easy reference, and I haven't done a lot of high-level magical items.
Yeah.
Especially because the gods needed to be sorted out first.
Yeah. If you don't sort out the gods, everything else kind of doesn't follow through as easily.
Well,
Oh, it's
considering that
somewhere, sorry.
the gods, magic items are attached to both
Yeah.
the races and gods
Yeah.
and elementals, and yeah.
And they're pretty disorganised
Yes.
in Martin's resources, which is why he's trying to put some order there. Do you want something to eat? Yogurt, fruit pouch,
Yogurt would be
snacks.
fantastic.
Yogurt?
No, I really don't find it. Should I? It's not here, is it?
I think Sunblade is radiant energy, not force.
Yeah.
I think maybe sounds right. Yeah.
Yeah. Being sun.
I know I've seen it in a book. I just really can't find it right now.
Okay, we're all quickly looking. So it's on page 205.
205, there's DM?
Yeah. When the pure experiences resistant, this magic molecule has the next property.
Okay, so yes, I know how it will work.
Alright.
Heal radiant damage instead of slashing damage.
Yeah.
You pull out the Sunblade.
Yeah, I'll pull out the Sunblade.
Okay.
And screaming.
As you pull out the Sunblade screaming, the sword lights up with brilliant light, and you can't see the dogs anymore.
The doggies disappeared. Am I still scared then?
Ah.
That's the question.
And they
Slightly.
there.
I'm still slightly scared, so for all intents and purposes, still frightened.
That makes a
Okay,
difference with a
that's
slight cheese.
fine.
Cheese is good, thank you very much.
Cheese is always good.
Which is amusing for a shadowy creature to bring light into the equation, can make it hard to manifest. Well, not able to actually hurt it, it stops it from hurting you.
Which is the more eminently handy thing.
It may also have vulnerability too. So.
I guess I will.
But remember, you
I'm
also
the
screaming
Sunblade.
and setting off a bright light in the middle of this place that we don't necessarily want to take attention in.
Oh, this is fully because I'm frightened.
Oh no, I realise that. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, just because it's bad.
So I hold the blade above my head, and for mechanics purpose, I am holding my action until I see the dog. Yeah.
You're readying to strike the dog if you see it.
So it's Sunblade above my head, radiating light, waiting to attack the dog until I see the dog or somebody else tells me to stop.
Jeremy, you're up.
I'm saying that I'm using a free action to quiet stealth as I attempt to bring my Makatool down two-handed on the dog that was apparently just in front of me as it tried to get to me.
So the dog in front of you fades out of existence as you pull your sword out with the light.
I will aim to actually at least slash it through the space where it was. The idea I might catch it before it disapparates. So,
Give me an attack roll.
17.
With a 17, you do feel as if you slightly connect with something, but it dissipates as you hit it.
So I don't, if it's not worth rolling damage, I don't feel like I roll damage.
You feel as if whatever was there has now gone.
Yep. Okay. And in which case then I will more urgently say, "Quiet, turn it down."
Oh, I guess.
I know, a stink bomb of silence.
Yes.
No?
So I'm going to go with a persuasion roll from Jeremy.
Yeah.
To explore the case of the bright light through windows is not a good thing either.
Yeah.
Oh. Apparently the chieftain is effective. He gets 24 on persuasion.
Nice.
Alright. So
He manages to calm you.
I calm down. I'll lower the blade, look around real quick, and then I'll put the blade away carefully, slowly also reaching for my trident.
Mm-hmm.
So I do that.
Okay. So amusingly, that was the easiest way through that encounter.
Oh, so I didn't get to do anything?
No.
No, but I got my fancy new 4 dice things that are easy to pick up now.
Aww.
We get to use them again
got them
soon.
from friends.
Those are cool though.
Yeah, but they're like a D4.
But
That she can
Because
pick up.
The D4s are the only one I have so much trouble picking up because even with numb hands, I
Yeah.
can't learn the
I was
grip.
gonna say that
Yeah.
one's hard.
Mm.
Yeah.
I've learnt to grip a lot of things, like just writing and things like that. I've had to learn, but
Yeah.
Those
Is
ones
it-
now.
the D4s.
Corridor still misty? Or
No,
is
the-
the mist also dissipated with the passing of the spectral dogs?
The mist dissipated with the passing of the dogs.
Okay.
Okay.
Alright.
And you can see that the chamber you're in actually circles around another chamber full of alchemical material. Several workbenches, chests and closets. Crystal containers with various human body parts preserved in green solution crowd numerous shelves. A flat table stained with dark dried spots appears a set of razor sharp knives. Next to it, on another table, sits a large chunk of wood enclosed in a spherical glass container. Many tubes and wires protrude from it, connecting to an array of vials, distillation tubes, funnels, retorts, and bowlers, glowing liquids, crucibles, and so forth. But you do notice in the center of the room, of the floor, is engraved with a large mystic circle.
I think we will all avoid that, I'm hoping.
Yes. Don't lick it.
Generally, not a bad way to find out what
Is
some
there any
things are.
description of the mystic circle?
Something.
I was just trying to read through to say, because
Not in
basically
alchemy.
you will get different things for each of you.
I believe being an artificer is familiar territory.
You see Dwarven Runes embedded in the actual circle. They're also some of them are Norse as well as Dwarven, which is unusual for this
It's
area.
like a mix
I was
of
gonna say because both of those cultures would not be here.
no.
And
Well-travelled
Lowell reads it as Felix qui potuit rarium cognici Cassius ME around the outside,
Do I need to write that
That
down?
strikes me as names.
with D retro in the center. And that's what your magic translates it to.
D retro, which means do it backwards. Spell all those backwards. What do they say?
Okay, so
I can read backwards and upside down if you want.
I was gonna say do this.
And
Yeah,
reverse.
because I mean anything backwards.
I've seen those things, and
Like the,
I can't believe there are people who can't do it. because I never even thought about it.
It just
Yeah,
takes
no,
a little
like,
bit of practice.
That's why I'm just like,
Yeah.
oh no, I can do it. I just have to go.
Yeah, but it's little things that you just do, and
That's the
people go, "What the hell are you doing?"
Exactly, like the book right here is upside down to me. I'll like
Yeah.
take out
Okay.
and somebody.
No
and,
problem.
So as you
Exactly.
think of it in reverse for the well,
Yeah.
you get that the words completely change on you, and it says, "Happy is he who unveils the secret cause of matter." M.E.
Moorcroft
I
something?
read that out.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Is that something I should be writing
Yeah.
down for
I
future
read out the
reference, or-
first bits,
Mm-hmm.
and
Just
then go,
interesting.
"Oh, that says that," and do it backwards, and I'll read that out as well with the ME on the end.
Mm.
Does anything happen when I read that?
When you do the ME on the end, the symbols flash.
What was the phrase?
What do they read now?
Same thing.
I
Okay.
can't.
Happy is he that.
It says, "Happy is he who unveils the secret causes of matter."
Unhappy is he who unveils the
Okay.
secret cause of matter. Okay.
But with multiple words in different languages.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
So
First
one
word-
word's in Norse, one's in
Yeah.
Spanish.
There you go.
Director is paying less attention to the circle on the floor, and he's actually taking a closer look at the human parts that were apparently in bottles,
Mm-hmm.
looking particularly to see if he could find any evidence of what may have been a young centaur.
Okay. Having a look at the parts, they look more elven than centaur. And
That's kind of in theme with the house.
And the
Tower.
center piece of it all appears to be what you would most likely describe as the heart of a tree.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, that's what was going to be my question. I was like, you said block of wood.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Were there any other exits in this room, or we're talking tower here?
So I think we
Um,
read that.
I wouldn't mind
Well, it's
doing
probably
something since
one of the
What would you like to do?
trees
just
that
look
came
around.
by.
Okay.
From an alchemical background,
Still
I'd be interested.
Mhm. So as you have a look
Still
around,
worth taking them because we can put them back in.
I'm happy to wait.
Because they've been taking about a bunch of trees.
Not if he's
Bark
using it
lots.
up entirely.
there's only one wooden heart in the center of the contraption.
Yeah.
I'd say this is how the hearts that have been ripped out of
It's
trees
probably
have been
like-
used up.
Yeah, they're probably used as batteries for
Yeah.
whatever this is.
And then
Yeah.
once he drains them, he gets another tree heart.
Okay, so give me a
Investigation. room, so-
investigation roll for our gnome.
Would that be Arcana or just straight investigation?
Investigation.
So that's 12. Why does it take me so long to read through this list? Investigation is that.
Intellect, if you don't have it as a skill.
Okay, so I'm not probably going to get very high unless I find it as a skill in here. I think it's going to be +5, and that's a 12, so 17.
So having a look around, this is this entire apparatus you see around here is set up to produce a single item.
Okay. Is there? Do I recognise any of the ingredients and things that are around me, or?
I'll make an Arcana roll on that one.
What's it make?
19 + 8 is 27.
Okay, so you theorize that he's making potions of longevity from ingredients he's sourcing from the forest.
Generally from the trees.
And
That's-
probably the heart of the tree is the center of the
He's stealing the
potion.
life of trees.
Can I investigate the thing that the heart is in to determine whether or not I could safely remove it?
Not without destroying the whole apparatus.
Kind of don't care,
But
but
you don't
I
think-
won't do it straight away.
You don't think you could put the heart back?
No, I don't think I can put a heart back, but I don't want him to have it. But it'd be something I'd talk over with the elves before I did it. I just want to know, can I discern whether it's possible?
It is possible if you destroy the apparatus.
Okay. Well, I would have that discussion with Lul because Nari's not here.
Well,
And
given
maybe-
what it's for, please destroy.
Yeah.
Go
yeah.
for it.
And
Naughty Sash.
did
Violence.
Draknima want to have a say before I do that?
So from my perspective, I was basically looking at the room to see
Yep.
what was in there, like ignoring the actual circle.
Yep.
Were there any other exits in this room?
Yes, I believe there was a exit above you. There's a trapdoor in the roof.
Okay.
Okay, yep. So
Okay.
he will be going effectively to investigate the trapdoor then and be going looking that sort of way. We must. You figure it probably have to get towards the top of the tower at this point, aren't we?
You think the next level is the top of this tower, because you can feel wind near the trapdoor.
Okay. Can I hear anything?
No.
Are there wind?
You can't hear anything other than wind.
And then those armor things were gliding, so not likely to hear them if they're up there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Although they might still clink a bit if they move their arms or whatever.
Yeah, gently clinking.
But that'll be close by.
As far as destroying it goes,
I'll wait until we're
I would
finished with
suggest
the
that
room.
we've looked at this tower and then all the way down, maybe.
Yeah, that's what I was going to
But-
say to Martin is I will use my Tigri skills to start building a destructive device that is hopefully silent. Hopefully, I don't know. Depends on how I roll.
Or you can
Easy.
also just
Acids.
slowly just start picking it apart, and then
Take the
making
good-
something.
Would
Take the
that
good bits
be
out.
easily doable? Okay. Well, if I can
You've
do
got
that,
time
it doesn't have to be a bomb.
to
I
actually-
You got
It doesn't have to be a
I don't
bomb.
mind having a bomb, but I would suggest we don't want to attract that kind of attention right now. So I'd be
Well,
happy to just start pulling things apart.
A balloon of acid that goes pop and spreads
Yeah,
over things.
yeah.
Still a grenade.
Yeah.
Still goes boom.
But I
Very,
still
very
will
gentle.
wait until I'm confirmed
So we're done with
that
the
we're
room.
finished in the area.
So
Because the other one was that if it turned out you couldn't pull it apart, and obviously Jacqueline will be happy to help you pull it apart potentially.
Can
But
I?
if you couldn't pull it apart, then potentially a delayed reaction bomb.
Well,
of
that's
some
what I'm just
sort.
about to ask. Can I do the acidy type deal, but with a delay?
it is possible. I'll give you a Arcana roll to put something together.
But while she's considering that, or considering that, I'm going to peek up through the trapdoor and see what's above us.
Okay, you
24.
you get the smell of wyverns up here. As you can see, what appears to be the nest of the large wyvern you saw taking off.
Okay.
It's a 6, not a 9.
But and there is a large metal panel in the side of the tower that's open, where you think it flew out.
Okay.
So it hasn't come back, and the panel's been left open.
So if you close it.
The master is out. The master will know someone's home.
Yeah, well,
There's a visitor in.
yes.
Well, considering the master's out with him, so.
Yeah.
Well, in that case, anyhow, I will actually take it. I'll go up through the trapdoor and have a look around and just see if I can see anything of interest up in there. While the others are looking at the magic circle and deciding how they're going to destroy it.
Well, you can confirm that these are the same tracks you saw around the trees and has the same imprint on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So it's definitely the same critter.
Yeah.
And the same star imprint and boots.
Yeah, but he's not here right now, so. And I can't find anything else of interest up here, I'm assuming?
No, you don't think you would store much with a wyvern.
No.
Yeah.
I will then go back down again and close the trapdoor behind me and
Okay.
let the others know what was up there. But also, I'll take a look out the open space and just confirm that this is definitely the top floor of the tower.
It is the
Yeah.
top floor of the tower.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can even look up and see the point. And it
Yeah.
matches roughly the point inside where you are.
Yeah.
I gather there's no signs of where the centaur might be.
Not in this tower.
Okay, cool.
And
And
so,
we've got 5 more.
what was your Arcana roll?
24.
24. Yes, you do put together this nice little contraption that will probably take about 20 or 30 minutes to go, and then it will cause a lot of light as it burns through all the metals of the contraption, which would then make the glass drop and break,
Okay.
and then pretty much destroy everything. Because if you just do boom, you'll just probably break some vials.
Has this room got windows?
It does not have windows.
Do it.
So 20-30 minutes. I suspect it's going to take longer for us to find the sentinel.
Well, yeah, but we're not going to come back in this tower because no one's here now.
Okay.
And the 20 or 30 minutes means that it's not going to be a loud thing happening.
Yeah.
It's bright lights, it won't
Yeah.
actually be loud. And if there's no windows, then bright lights aren't a major issue either. So
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well.
I'd be happy to get started in 5 minutes, maybe 20 to 30, but the long enough for us to be heading down again.
Yeah. I would.
And that potentially gives you enough time to get out, because it will send a lot of smoke up through the tower.
Yeah. That's what I'm like. There could be other consequences that I haven't thought ahead of, and that's the only reason I'm
happy to give you more time, yeah, that's fine.
trying to decide on the timing because.
And when you say it's going to destroy everything, are we talking this heart, the circle, the entire tower,
Just-
the room?
What's in the
Well,
room?
I'm aiming for just everything in the room.
Everything in the room. Okay.
Contents of the
Yeah.
room. There you go.
Okay.
I just
That's
figure-
if I decide to do that path of destruction.
So 2 hours from now, we'll have a smoking tower.
Yep.
Or smoking remains of the whole tower.
Yeah.
And hopefully it doesn't go through to the library.
Yeah. Well. Technically, although I treasure the wisdom that's probably in those books, the guy who's using that wisdom, if that's removed from him, I'd rather it be gone than him have it.
Okay, so
Yes.
we'll leave it with you setting up a incendiary device,
Mhm.
the equivalent of phosphorus, which
Yeah.
just burns brightly.
Are we going anywhere else now?
Well, I assume we're heading back down the stairs to probably either try out the original secret door you found or the other staircase on the eastern side
Yeah.
to try and come up with a different tower. Or the other option would be to go back down to the base or either to the illusionary wall
Mm.
and try and sneak across to another tower
Yeah.
directly.
Yeah.
But that potentially has a higher risk of running in, being spotted by
Yeah.
the harbours. So I'm confident I can get across without being spotted,
Mm.
but I would also think that it's potentially better to, go all the way down, come back up again, because that's probably safer.
Well, you probably think that the illusionary, also the invisible bridges are the only way to get into some parts of the tower.
Yeah. So.
But obviously, you're going to be very visible when you're walking across them.
Yeah.
It's pretty hard to hide.
So, yeah, even at night.
These bridges, is there a way, like, because we've got these open walls, that we can drop from one wall down onto a bridge?
Possibly.
Okay.
But you can't see the bridge.
I don't know, I can't see
We've got
the
the, we've got the, on the other hand, we can, from a couple of vantage points, look at the various guard armours and work out the pattern of their movement. We can find
absolutely.
gaps in their movement. We need to do that.
Well, I was going to say, Zach has technically already done that.
Yeah.
So.
And you spend time studying them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we've got that. Fair enough.
So you think you could potentially go
While
across
someone
without
was
seeing
sleeping
it?
on the job, Zach was working.
Hey,
So, do you guys,
I was doing a job.
when we start next time, start at the trapdoor behind the throne? What do you guys think?
Yeah.
Well, I was going to start you on the stairwell going down because there are other things you'll
Oh,
find.
true.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
cool.
All good?
Yep. Okay. Sounds like a plan.
So yes, you did manage to infiltrate the place without anyone dying.
Yeah, that's surprising.
Well, except for the sniper.
Yes.
Well, is it death?
Well, he's not
Or
so much dead.
rebirth.
He's just no longer with us.
Depends on how you look at it, I guess.
Yes. I mean, let's face it, a Atruaghin by any other name still will smell as sweet.
Yes.
Which is why you stand upwind. Because they only bathe when it rains.
Or when they cross the river.
It's a good point. So right now the tribesman or
We're standing in
Draknamar is smelling as sweet as he's ever smelt so far.
Yum.
Okay, all good.
Okay, yeah, the offer smells quite sweet.
Mm.
Those sacred herbs and spices in the
There's a reason for him.
And every now and then, I'm sure he smokes something useful. Has that smoky quality to him.
Well, you gotta take care of your mental health, right?
Okay, so I'll see you tomorrow night, Jeremy.
Thank you very much.
And
Thank you all. We'll catch you next week or the week after.
Thank
We
you.
will.
Next time.
And thank you for the game.
Thanks for
Have a
stopping
good
me
night.
from killing myself.
You too.
I wanna
Bye now.
we both want to both do that.